comes up a little short.
Whoa.
I mean, look at 6. That was nasty.
Down goes the queen on d1. Rook g3. Queen takes d1.
Owie. Owie. Oh my gosh. You know what Dobrov just did? Brushed his shoulder off. That was awesome.
Wow.
And we are back live and with Grandmaster Robert Hess, IRL, with the 2019 Speed Chess Championship. Grandmaster Robert Hess, how excited are you to see the top seed, the man, the #1 overall player, Hikaru Nakamura, start his campaign to defend his crown this year?
I'm so excited I actually tweeted. And you know what a rare occasion that is for me.
It is. It is. Well, I tweeted that, we had a great breakfast this morning.
We did.
Especially considering that it took me a long time to cut up those raspberries.
They're perfect.
They were perfect, yeah. And we'll get into social media a little bit, of course, later today as we dive into all things #SpeedChess. But let's remind everybody of the bracket, of how we got here, who's still standing, who's not. Obviously, Jan-Christoph Duda gave us a thriller the last time we were live, barely getting by on Ishigiri. Jan Nepomniachtchi has moved on, as well as Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. So Hikaru Nakamura looks to join that group today. Obviously, he is the very, very heavy favorite. Let's remind everybody of the format that he is the favorite in and has been known as one of the best players on the planet for years. We've been doing this SEC thing for a while. But it's 90 minutes of 5-minute, 60 minutes of 3-minute, and 30 minutes of 1 minute. Robert, I'm going to ask you, what of those time controls do you think Dobrov has the best chance in?
Wow, I'm gonna go.
You're not allowed to say none of the above.
I'm gonna go with the 3+1 Blitz segment because I think the 5-minute, the more time on the clock, generally the better it is for the high-rated player.
Okay.
And I think that yes, Hikaru is going to dominate all three segments of this format, but I do think the 3-1 format is probably the most likely for Dobrov to score some points. He's the most used to that, playing 3-minute time control, so I think that's where he should try to score his most amount of points.
Well, we'll see if that prediction holds true. Let's remind everybody what they're playing for. Of course, we got a lot of cash money, homie. $16,000 in the first round, and the prizes get bigger with every single matchup from here on out. Speaking of the matchup, let's move right into our Smarter Chess predictions. Obviously, as we know, Hikaru Nakamura, the #1 seed, favored in all time controls appropriately. The 95% probability, Jan Nepomniachtchi's got nothing on that.
He doesn't, and if you look, and you know how I like to argue with Smarter Chess,
Yep.
Look at the 3-1 score. That's where Dobrov's getting most of his points, according to Smarter Chess.
Right,
So,
look at you. You aligning with analytics. It's like I'm in a multiverse, something weird. So, well, with that, let's keep rolling here. Remind everybody of the power rankings. Of course, the overall ranking for Hikaru Nakamura has him as one of the best players in this format of all time. With that, I don't really know what else to add to that, right? Obviously, Dobrov knows he has his work cut out for him. He qualified. It's kind of like qualifying to get into March Madness for some of the 16 seeds. Just being there is awesome. Of course, I know he's not showing up today for a moral victory. He's showing up for the free jokes, the free dad jokes
that he can't listen to.
That he can't listen to, right? But he watches it on replay. So, and with that, let's get ready to jump right in. We have both players here. They are ready, seated. Hikaru Nakamura in his position that many have come to know him well. You can follow Hikaru, of course, on his channel, twitch.tv/GM Hikaru. And Dobrov, also a streamer in Russian, for those who don't know. So these guys play regularly on Chess.com. They stream regularly, and the games are about to begin here for them to throw down regularly for the rest of the day. And with that, we have action.
Yeah, and we see that Hikaru with the white pieces facing Dobrov Sicilian, of course, inspired by Magnus versus Fabiano Caruana, World Championship match.
This line has just been all the bee's knees, really, since November 2018, since the last time you and I were sitting next to each other. Most of the time when I try to reach through the green screen, my hand disappears. But this time, that wasn't weird, was it?
No, not even a little bit. I'm used to you by now.
Not even a little bit. All right. Well, we've got a quick transition into a bind here, So we've got a Maroczy bind structure holding back d5 and b5 for those of you who speak pawn structures in the Sicilian. Hikaru Nakamura off to a pretty good start here as white. So what are the difficulties black faces here, right? You've got a lack of development. You also have to watch out already for tactics like knight to d5 with the rook spying the queen. These positions... What can we offer here from an instructive standpoint for black? I guess the main thing to highlight is black structure is always very solid. So as long as you don't run into tactical problems, usually you have long-term chances. But I'm going to guess Hikaru knows what to do here. You can also be aggressive. Queen d2 and f4 are ideas here.
And a very important thing to note with your idea of knight d5 is that the pawn is on d7 and not on d6. So that, if white had chosen to go knight d5, once the queen moved off the c file, just to show that, right? So does he take it on d5 first?
Right.
C takes, and then move your queen to d8. After d takes c6, I take with the d pawn. And now it's not so bad for black because my bishop on f6 looks good, and I don't have the compromised pawn structure you see in other lines.
Right as you highlighted, the pawn not being on d6, Hikaru Nakamura on q plays c5, which really pokes at that fact there, targeting the d6 square. And this is often the structural issue for black here, especially as kind of a heads-up play, right? Like, your opponent changes footwork here, relocates a bishop, and you immediately take advantage of the fact that it has left the square c5. So c5 is a really nice move, actually. Rook d8, and now with the trade, you're going to have this permanent problem on the dark squares. Look for something like knight a4 to come for Hikaru pretty quickly.
Yeah, and this knight on g6 is just not nearly as good as the knight on c3 because the knight is trying to go to b6, and more importantly, the bishop on c8 is not doing too much. So at some point, black will try to play e5 and open up the diagonal for the bishop, but as soon as you play e5, look at your bishop on f6, right?
Yeah.
Not looking so good.
Not going to be your favorite piece, chewing on granite there. Plus this move bishop c4 by Hikaru kind of heads up in the sense that you put a bishop on what will become a newly open diagonal. He completes my blank before I can even say it, right? And here comes knight a4, heading into b6. But look for bishop e6, I guess, here from Dobrov, and I think... Okay, I guess the question is, can bishop e6 be met by something like bishop takes f4 intermezzo?
So after bishop takes c4, I mean, even in queen, like exactly what you're showing.
Just the structure is just not as good for black as you would like, the doubled pawns, and that's kind of what's happening on the board. Not quite. Bishop e6, Hikaru plays knight b6 first, and
kicks the knight out,
and immediately then decides to kick the knight. That's going to force a trade on c4 because you don't really want the doubled e pawns here unless you decide you can get away with a little check, do a little dance, make a little check.
Get down tonight?
Yeah, get down tonight, but your knight might end up getting trapped tonight on h3 if you're not careful, right? So it makes me think that we're going to see bishop take c4 here first.
What if he tries bishop h3? Can he, his position doesn't look very good. So if we talk in a practical manner, is it good for black to just try to go all in and say, I'm going to sacrifice my knight on f4 and, just try to get your king open?
Probably. I kind of like it. Let's look at it, right? Bishop I mean, I like it, but, they're not my pieces, as you know, so I'm going to sacrifice away. Takes. Both the rook and the bishop are currently hanging. I mean, instinctively I have to doubt that this is good for black, but as I look at it, it looks a little tricky.
Yeah, because queen e5 comes next. So if you go bishop d2, there goes queen e5, and now queen g5
heading over here, and it's
doesn't look so easy.
Yeah.
The king just really feels wide open on g1. No minor pieces there to protect it. So Dobrov is sitting and thinking right now, but I imagine that bishop h3 is the move he's really considering.
We see Hikaru Nakamura active in the chat talking about picking up some donuts in between moves. So, I don't know. Maybe we should get him a pizza or something if he's hungry.
Well, if he takes on f4 in some of those lines, he might start off with a donut in this time control.
Okay, well, Vlad's going to give him the opportunity. He plays bishop h3, inviting these sharp lines.
Very good practice. And Hikaru approved of it because I saw how he responded with facially. He kind of was like, wow, that was pretty interesting.
Yep.
And then now he's sitting there and contemplating.
We see Hikaru Nakamura, our stats coming at you live, holds the record for the largest ever margin of victory. I think Magnus Carlsen's victory over Tigran Petrosian in one of the first years was actually maybe second. But again, don't quote me. I'm not here to be smart. We've got, so he moves the rook, but here comes bishop g4. So Dobrov not giving up on the idea that this knight might be poisoned if you take it. And I think, again, you called it from a practical perspective. So obviously the storyline here is going to be that Hikaru Nakamura is a heavy favorite, right? And we'll get into the daily question here in a minute, which actually asks you, the fans, who you think actually has the best chance of an underdog. I wonder how many votes Dobrov gets. But regardless of that, I think that how do you pull upsets against much stronger players? You have to play with no fear.
Right.
And you have to be willing to mix it up. You can't play and expecting them to outplay you, right? You got to put pressure on them and hope that maybe they're off form that day, right? Because while Hikaru's class is permanent, his form, sometimes can be off, and that would be what Dobrov is hoping for.
Yeah, so I mean,
I like the way he's played this.
Yeah, me too. I think Dobrov actually has a very good position now, especially relative to where we were before. And I see Alireza Firouzja in the chat, so that's another Speed Chess Championship contestant there. But look at that bishop on f3. We were talking about how bad it was in C8 just 5 moves ago, or
Yep.
however many it was, and now the bishop's on F3. It's very advanced,
Mm-hmm.
and once you take on D4, just you can choose. Yeah, rook takes D4 looks good. Put the next one on D8, and this is starting to look much, much better for Black than it did earlier.
Yeah. Agreed. And if you get the other rook here, all of a sudden, one of the things that's risky about outpost squares on the side of the board for everyone versus the center of the board is that if play becomes all about, let's say, the center or even the king side, that the piece that you've outposted on sort of the wrong side of the board is pretty to look at, but not very useful, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what's happening here. And so Dobrov gets credit for creating the counterplay he has with the bishop pair and the d file, because it leaves this knight feeling a little bit sort of out of sorts, right? Not the most effective piece, despite that it visually is on a very good square.
And it's why Hikaru keeps trying to offer the exchange of light square bishops. He's saying, well, yes, my knight gets back into the game, but this knight that will remain on the board will outclass this bishop on f6. Because look at that bishop. Where is it going, right? There's no diagonal for it to work with, no target for it to attack. So that would be ideal for Hikaru, which is why Dobrov is very smart. When you have these two bishops, right, you often want to keep both of them on the board. The advantage of the dark squared bishop is not just that you have one, it's that you can control both color complexes when you have bishops of both colors on the board.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you do that, right? So the structure is not going to be open for this bishop anytime soon. You maybe would like to go after the.
Yeah, well, now he offered the bishop exchange because he said when you went f3, you've weakened the g3 square. So perhaps he's going to try to reroute his queen over to g7, play for g5.
Yeah, I like that
something of that
idea.
nature. But the knight is very strong here.
Yeah, here it comes to d6, although, Dobrov keeping options open to deal with it when it comes there. And with a king being open, there's always the potential of an exchange sack if you're not careful, right?
And g5 right now looks.
I love g5, right? Bring it.
Just g5, and you take with the bishop, and then try to play h4 yourself. There it is.
Here he goes.
And
takes, and then h4.
Just try to keep things open. And that rook on d4, queen on d7 combination is trying to go to d2 if you ever move your knight away. So you can't just start jumping your knight all over the board. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because knight d6 looks like an annoying threat, but as you point out, bishop e7 can always just kick it out.
And again, you wouldn't sack the exchange, obviously, on knight d6 if the bishop here is going to remain blocked, but at some point, if you can imagine a diagonal that becomes useful, or maybe some sort of dark square infiltration on this side, you have to watch out here if you're Hikaru, and give Dobrov credit, given the fact that at one point in this game, Hikaru was up, I think, closer to 2.5 minutes, right? Now up about 30 seconds, so... The position is tricky, and here goes Hikaru thinking a little bit for the first time.
Yeah.
In the day.
Deep in the think tank.
Deep
we
in
spent
the
about a
thought
minute
tank,
on that move.
Is that a new picture on his wall there? It looks like Christopher Robin's about to pop out with Winnie the Pooh. I don't know.
Do you
maybe
see Eeyore?
I see Eeyore there in the magical forest of Winnie the Pooh. H4, he's going to take on G3, and look out for some fireworks, right?
It's just starting to look good for black,
Yeah,
right?
it's looking great for black, actually. I mean, takes, put the bishop on F4.
And then rook takes c4 ideas, too.
Actually, if you take c4 immediately, queen d2 check is almost winning on the spot. Let's look at it.
Wow.
Rook c4, queen c4, queen d2 takes g3, king pops, and then almost a mate.
Doesn't quite
Not
pan
quite,
out.
right? We'll see what he he's gone for it.
Yep.
He's all in on the exchange sack, and what's the...
he's going bishop e3.
There's got to be a follow-up we missed there.
Okay, so now...
King f1's going to... Okay, queen e6 is coming. That's the trick. Hikaru's got his eye on the e6 pawn.
So what about bishop e3 here? I guess you just have queen e2.
Queen e6 as well is going to be a draw.
Right. I was thinking, but white can play for more. Queen e2, because the thing is, if you give a check on c1, the king just runs to g2 safely.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually some funny variations there. So queen e2, so
yeah,
queen c1 check.
Nice play by Hikaru there, actually.
But check this out. Queen c1 check.
Okay.
King g2, h3 check.
Okay.
Didn't see that one coming.
Oh, if rook takes, it's mate. Oh, my
But you can go king h2.
And he's just fine.
Yeah.
He's just sitting pretty over here.
Yep.
I'm sure Hikaru has already calculated lines like this. That's actually super irritating if you're Dobrov. You felt like intuitively this was an exchange sack that was going to maybe start the match off in a way that people didn't think. But Hikaru Nakamura goes to Kembe Mutombo and shakes his finger. And, wow. Just like that, defends and gets his first victory.
And he was in the chat, too, saying, or is it just GG, yo?
Is it just GG, yo? Is it an attack or GG, yo? Is this going to be a blowout? Does Dobrov have a chance? Well, that's going to lead us to our daily question for the first time in the day. Obviously, many people know that Hikaru Nakamura is good at this thing called Blitz and Bullet chess. And we have a question is, who's going to have the best chance as an underdog? Now, I think there's a pretty obvious choice in the selection for those of you looking to vote directly via the Chess.com official channel on Twitter. We have a poll. You can let us know here in Twitch chat. I don't know if we have the Twitch extension vote working, but at some point, maybe today we will. You can use the hashtag SpeedChess and give us your reasoning, but given that Ali Reza Firouzja is in the chat, and obviously he is the underdog against Levon Aronian by seeding, I think a lot of people look at Ali Reza as the guy that will upset seeding in the bracket. But who knows, right? Give us your vote. Let us know if you think Dobrov has a chance, and get involved on Twitter. And we appreciate your social media interaction. Apparently.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it's a very interesting question because you might want to go with an underdog who you might think will pull off the upset.
Yep.
But I don't think Dobrov is the answer to that question.
Maybe not, right? And I'll give my thoughts on Ali Reza Firouzja versus Levon Aronian, which of course is coming up this week. I believe they're actually up. They're the first match on Thursday. I think that's gonna be tough, right? Obviously, I was that was the huge minority when I picked Wei Yi to beat Ali Reza Firouzja. Most people laughed at me, but I do feel that the stronger players in a long match, at this point, Ali Reza is about to break into that, I would say, elite chess group, but he's not quite in that top 15 in the world, right?
Right.
And you look at those guys, and I think that Firouzja is the underdog for a reason. So I have Levon in that match, and maybe I'm giving Ali Reza a bit of motivation here.
Yeah, because he's hanging out in the chat.
He's hanging out
so
in the
he can
chat,
hear
right?
you.
But okay, like obviously we know that Ali Reza is capable of the best bullet performances in the world, along with guys like Hikaru Nakamura.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting one. I'm very excited for that match.
Yeah, that match will be very interesting, as well as the second half of that doubleheader where you have Artemiev playing against Sasha Grishuk, and that's another one where complete toss-up in my eyes. And I know that's the cop-out answer, saying it's a toss-up, but both those players are super strong. We know from past years how seriously Grishuk takes these, right? He's really prepared. He's fighting to the bitter end, and he was the first victim of Jan-Krzysztof Duda, right? The legend of Duda.
The legend of Duda
was begun
real.
by beating Grishuk
Yep.
in an epic comeback.
Yeah, and then it only got further this year when he made this huge comeback. For those who didn't, if you somehow missed Anish Giri versus Jan-Krzysztof Duda, that's a video on demand worth watching. Back up and check it out either here on Twitch or on our YouTube channel, because that was the first ever real 4-game comeback we've had in the main SEC.
Yeah.
Because we've had, I say real because MVL was just down 4 games against Wei Yi, but it just never felt like he wasn't the heavy favorite.
Right.
That one was one that seemed like it was Giri's match to win, and Jan-Krzysztof Duda came all the way back, the comeback kid. Wow, look at this. Bishop A3.
Yeah. So
Pinning a knight.
Oh, and the queen on C2 is under attack, but there are many pieces hanging in this variation.
Yeah, this is what happens in lines like this. We get chop, 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 maybe even chop.
But then chop on G7.
And then rook on B1 hangs in the end.
Wait.
Sorry, the rook goes to B1.
Exactly.
But then there's bishop E6.
And then there's knight G5.
And this is a world of nuttiness. I mean,
too much
to
calculate.
Obviously some calculation here. Hikaru's like, why are you making me work right now? Oops, why are you flipping the board, Dan? Don't flip the board, Dan. That was my nickname in high school.
You had so many nicknames
I know,
in high
it was
school.
weird. I had a lot of nicknames in high school. It was weird.
Don't flip the board, Dan.
I don't know where that nickname came from. Don't flip the board, Dan. It was a long night.
I don't know where you're going with this. I'm going to let you keep going here.
Yeah, keep digging that hole, buddy. Speaking of digging holes, thanks to everybody that's here in chat. I'm going to dive in and acknowledge all the chatters for the first time today. We know that's a dangerous thing to do sometimes, but our boy Daryl Morey just showed up. We love him, rocking and rolling on Twitter. Thanks for being here, Daryl. Those of you who don't know, Grand Master of the Houston Rockets.
Yep, he's a GM.
Yep. Shout out to the Chess TV chatters. We got National Master Joseph Trulson, Diamond Member Span, N34, Crazy Coffee Man. Thanks for the moderation today over there. Appreciate everybody that's here, and 3,500 of you, don't go anywhere. We got a full day of chess ahead.
And it's really not every day. Okay, finally the queen moved off from the C2 square, but for so many moves, the queen was just under attack, and finally it runs away. But this situation, the bishop on A3, the knight on B4 just feels very well placed, and you can't dislodge it with the pawn on A5 there. And now with knight to B5, you have to watch out for C7 square, the D6 square. So there's some elements I certainly like for Vlad in this position, but...
Are you going with Vlad just so you cannot have to debate Dobrov? Is it Dobrov or Dobrov?
We asked him.
Nikolaj.
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 Okay.
All right. All right. We've got Rook D8. Now the knight's going to come in. E4 or C4, right? Take your pick. C4. Love it. My favorite too.
And he's giving up
because at least A5 is on. Ooh, he's giving up A4, but here comes counterplay.
So he's giving up the A4 pawn, but there might be some issues on the B4 square that he can go after. But the bishop can always swing back to F8. So here knight C5. This bishop takes B4. Always hanging pieces, right? So knight C5, bishop takes B4, A takes B4, queen B4. Just this looks probably should be level in opposite color bishop position. In fact,
Hikaru in chat saying free pawn. But maybe he decides he's okay with giving it back because he likes his new position for his knight and that pawn on E4 blocking the bishop on G2, right?
Oh, look at that.
Whoa. Dobrov going full miscalculation by Hikaru mode. That's a mouthful, but that's because it doesn't happen that often.
It really doesn't, and Hikaru he definitely overlooked that bishop takes E4 as a possibility because there were two pieces protecting it,
right?
And the bishop was the only piece attacking it, but the knight was pinned. And so queen E7 here is one move that I would certainly consider, pinning the bishop on E7, attacking the rook on D8, and Dobrov, he's putting up a good fight here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I'm looking at the position. It's still kind of dangerous, right? Because you got to look out for the rook infiltrating to the second rank. F2 is a weak spot, right? So now queen E7 is kind of calling the bluff on rook D2. What's the follow-up? You could hear the hesitation in my voice. Is it something with rook A1, taking advantage of the fact that the bishop is pinned, maybe?
And then there might be some rook takes F2. I mean,
it's going to be nutty, right? Because something like this happens, everyone, to show Robert's line. If rook takes F2, the point is king takes falls into bishop takes G3 with check, and there goes the lady.
But you have your rook A8 check. And okay, so he went knight G4.
He goes for it, but has he missed this idea?
No, he'll go queen D8 check first.
Intermezzo, right? So rook takes F2, you get the queen out of the way, and then gobble up yourself a rook.
But I like your rook A1 move, actually. It was very interesting. Because the problem was there were some checkmating ideas that black had to really keep an eye on.
Yep.
So rook takes F2 was not possible. So I'd like your move rook A1 more.
Yeah, he could have done this, everyone. Again, the point is the bishop was pinned for a moment. And if you take here, the idea was rook A8 check and some sort of queen F8. Yep. But the king could go here, and the rook guards F7.
Oh, yep.
Right? So maybe that would have been nutty. Yeah. Okay. Well, knight D4, rook D3. Hikaru keeping the pressure, but for the first time, I believe, down on the clock. I don't think it was ever down on the clock in game one. So if you're just joining us, thank you for being here. This is the 2019 Speed Chess Championship, the biggest event in online chess esports, if that's a thing. Whoa, B5 is played, guarding A8. That's a nice move by Hikaru. Sneaky defense.
And he's opening up tactics with rook takes E3 at some moment.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be one of those Hikaru time scrambles heard around the world here.
So
this is about to get super dangerous.
Yeah, queen E8 checks. Oh, king G7, knight E6
There's
check?
knight E6 and then rook A7. Did he miss this?
Knight E6, but then he's going king F6.
Knight E6, he gets the king out.
What is happening here? And then there's queen H8 check stuff. That king might just keep running. It might go full Forrest Gump. You just have nothing to say.
I had
nothing
to say.
In your life.
I'm speechless, right?
Wow.
The knight E6, king F8. What White wants, everyone, is obviously to get this rook involved with a tempi, right? Then the mating net is on, whether it comes to the 7th rank or the 6th rank. So Hikaru's going to play king F6. Now the question is, can you give a check and then play the rook to the 6th rank with check, right?
And
this is
so queen D8 check. Let's pull up the analysis, right? So queen D8 check.
Okay.
King takes E6.
Yep.
Rook A6 check. King F5. Where's your next check?
I don't know. I was hoping you had something for me. Queen D7.
And then king G5. And then
H4, and you get to H5.
What in the
world? Run, Forrest, run. He's going for it. This is going to be the second attack that Dobrov goes all in on and comes up a little short.
Whoa.
I mean, rook F6! That was freaking nasty! Oh my gosh. You know what Dobrov just did? Brushed his shoulder off. That was awesome!
Wow.
That was awesome! Okay, I got to bring back the analysis board to see the ending because neither one of us saw it coming, and then it happened right before our very eyes. Dobrov says this will not be a shutout nor an adoption. I'm going to make a call right now that Hikaru's best chance to get an adoption started here. I don't know that it's going to happen in this.
Wow.
Look at this final combination. We were anticipating queen d7, as you saw, and h4. Silly Dan, mating attacks are for kids, or Russians in this case, because Dobrov knows how to do it better than me. Rook f6. The point is, if takes, queen takes, the king was trapped. So obviously it was just over if there's not a mate. And obviously if the king had moved to g5, something like rook f5 is the kind of double checks you write home to mom and dad about, because that's a mate. Wow.
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
Nasty. Wow.
Good stuff there by Dobrov, and keeps all of us entertained. Obviously, we know Hikaru Nakamura the heavy favorite for a reason, but Dobrov is he's bringing it today. If you're just joining us, the first game that did not go Big Vlad's way was also an attack. It was one that he brought the pressure in. Robert and I have been highlighting, for Dobrov to have a chance today, it's going to have to be an aggressive tempo that he sets, right? He's got to try to hope and cross his fingers. Do I catch Hikaru Nakamura on a bad form day? Because I know he's better than me in all these time controls. So, speaking of, we got all the time controls, we got all the events going on. Let's remind everybody of the events that they can follow: twitch.tv/chess4, chess.com TV. You can see the full calendar. Obviously, the Speed Chess Championship, Robert running along. But you and I, the reason you're sitting next to me, we flew you in to Studio C here for a reason, because the Fisher Random quarterfinals for the World Fisher Random Chess Championship is throwing down this weekend.
Yep, and we got 8 great players, including Hikaru Nakamura, competing in that. But if you look at that cast of characters there, I mean, just super strong. World number 2, Fabiano Caruana, Wesley So, Vidit Gujrathi, Alireza Firouzja, who will be competing in the SEC this week against Levon Aronian, Peter Svidler, and Vladimir Fedoseev and Jan Nepomniachtchi rounded out. Those 3 Russians at the top.
It's amazing. Honestly, I'm so excited for that event.
Me too.
You and I have never commentated yet on the Fisher Random.
No. I played, but I didn't
commentate. You played, and you did fantastic, right? You had the fans on the edge of their seat. You actually beat one of our players here. Oh, no, you didn't play Dobrov. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought you were paired with Dobrov in the first round. No. You were paired with Petrosian.
I was.
And you beat the Armenian, and then you ultimately fell to Sergei Karyakin. I'm not trying to remember. I mean, you played
memories.
fantastic. It was great, right? You had plenty of winning chances, but while we have been fans of what has become a 4-month-long event here on Chess.com, you and I get to commentate on the quarterfinals. A lot of prize money going up this weekend, as we just showed. So make sure you clear your weekend calendar and be with us to watch the Fisher Random World Chess Championship. So, someone in the Chess TV chat, Soren Chess, saying, who is this Dobrov guy? Plays a lot on Chess.com and qualified his way in, so no one needs to ask who Hikaru Nakamura is. But
definitely not necessary.
We need to ask whether this is going to be a close match. Hikaru looks like he's about to rebound here. This is going to be a crazy game, but his queen g2.
Yeah, so he's saying knight takes b. So wait, what about knight takes b5 because the knight on f3 is protected?
Yep. Now the queen guards the knight,
so I can just castle queenside
or castles queenside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Hikaru's idea to take with the knight, and he does.
No, this looks really bad for
Black.
Black.
Actually, so my first instincts were correct that it did look bad for Dobrov, and then I saw the queen coming to g2, and then he just played rook h3, which of course renews the threat of the double attack. But
actually, there's some possibilities here. So if you castle queenside for white, which seems like a very natural move, queen c6 check, king b1, then rook takes on f3, and now I have 3 minor pieces.
Right, you're getting some material, right? Who knows?
Yeah, that's the kind of messy game you need as Black from the starting point. But that's why rook c1 instead of castling. There's no checks along the c file for Black. The
bishop is hanging.
Knight c7 will be protected now when I give you that check, and your bishop has nowhere to go. Because if you go bishop to b7, well, then I can throw in a check and then win your bishop on b7 anyway. So knight b6 played.
Nice move.
Yep.
Guards the bishop.
Can also leap forward into c4, where...
And with the rook on h3, there's another threat, which is also queen e4 in some positions, right?
Right.
Now, you're not winning the material if queen e4 happens. The king can go to f2, but there's some things to figure out here. Knight b6 guards the bishop and also opens up the idea that the bishop might find the g4 square.
Yeah, that would be very annoying. That bishop lands on g4, right. Especially because you went rook c1, your king is committed to the center.
Right.
And so bishop g4, just not only hitting the knight, but through the knight towards some of these central squares where checkmate ideas can pop up.
Hikaru leaning in there for the first time.
He doesn't look pleased. He does not look pleased. I saw that face. He kind of...
Yeah. Not his super happy face, but he's going to calculate, right? Trying to focus on... on how to deal with the threats, the natural ones we've been highlighting. Bishop to g4, queen to e4. As you said, the king is committed now in the center. He goes rook g1, but there's obvious things to calculate here. Rook takes f3, probably fine for white, but after takes,
Rook takes b6.
this is the key. Removing not only the knight, but also the defender of the bishop on c8. So that's a very nice idea.
And you always think about that when pieces are hanging, right?
Yeah.
You know that the rook on g6 is under attack, so you take on b3, and then it's like
it's a desperado, right? Now this guy's hanging, so I go here, and this guy's still hanging, but white gets the last laugh with the final desperado. So those are how blunders are made, not to be confused with how babies are made, as you know.
Whoa, king f2. Look at this. Now rook takes f3, followed by bishop h4 is a
Run the
potential
king,
threat.
and then f3's falling.
Wait a sec. So
This actually looks really whoa.
wait, what? So rook takes f3. I'm very confused. So isn't this like directly problematic? Rook takes f3, queen takes, bishop h4 check, king f1 only move, right? Because anywhere else you move, I can take on f3 with check. So king f1, and then there's got to be something here.
Well, you can even just take and go for the 3 pieces for the rooks, which is super unclear.
Wow.
I mean, this position with the passed f pawn, the rook is hanging immediately. This is not going to be simple at all.
Yeah, and you actually even, wow, yeah, that is very unclear here. So it's messy, but maybe there's something more. Can you start with bishop h?
There's
so many
bishop
question
h4
marks
right away. I mean, Vlad is thinking he goes for this line. I think we're going to settle on the 3 pieces for the rook. Not that it's necessarily settling, but yeah, we're going to get this
maybe
line.
knight takes d5.
Oh, knight
yeah,
takes,
because there's no
mating
mate.
threats. Here comes the knight into e3.
Where's your rook going from g-mate over to a6 is the only safe square?
Your only hope is that you run and that somehow black's f-pawn doesn't mate you. Right? Okay, here comes knight e3. The bishop is going to move, and then here comes Freddy.
So bishop where? Bishop g... I can't figure it out. Like bishop g4 to hit the rook on c8. You kind of gain a tempo there. But... And here comes the f-pawn.
Classic. I think we just got a huge raid from the chess bras. I think. I didn't see the alert on screen, but suddenly a bunch of people that have been following the Chess Bros coverage of the World Cup, those guys have been doing an amazing job. If you haven't been with them for the last month, then you're missing out. But thank you for the raid, guys. Thank you for the amazing coverage with Yasser himself. And look at this.
It's a draw.
Hikaru got out.
Yeah, he bailed himself out here.
Very nice defense, actually, because we were about to get some Freddy, maybe a little Mercury for the white king, too, on f2 there. So Hikaru swindles his way out, saves a draw, which is not something we plan to say a lot today.
Yep.
But Hikaru right now, kind of on the defensive. You got to give it to Vlad, right? He's brought the aggressive chess. Every single game has been an attacking affair with the Russian bringing pressure. So if you're just tuning in and wondering what kind of match we're going to see, don't go anywhere. Go ahead.
Sorry, we were talking about something similar yesterday, like what kind of opponent you might want to face. And Dobrov is one where he's just not afraid of anybody.
Right.
He knows, he's objective about it. He knows that he is the worst player between the two of them, or that is without question.
He even made jokes about it in the interview we gave them as far as what music he'd be listening to, and I forget which songs he said, but specifically he was, talking about, thank you there, Daryl, for the subs. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the love. Talking about what every music is about getting killed, right? So Dobrov knows that he's the underdog in today's match.
But my point was going to be that while he knows he's the underdog, he's not afraid, right? That's an important thing to note. And so that's why he's able to score these points. We've seen other players challenge Hikaru and just get absolutely demolished, very one-sided affair. So I think that Dobrov is ready for this, and he's making the most of his opportunities thus far.
Well, right now Hikaru is sending a message about just how fast he is. We see the more time than he started with, right? Something we say a lot.
Up a pawn, too.
Up a pawn and way up on the clock. So Hikaru's like, all right, I'm sitting up now. I hear you.
And he's chatting, too.
He's chatting,
He's just down a pawn for nothing.
Down a pawn for nothing, and Hikaru letting the world know that that's his evaluation. So shout out to those playing Guess the Move on Chess.com. We have FIDE Master, Burrito Fan. I don't know if you misspelled and was meant to say burrito fan. Either way, I do like burritos. Burrito fan, also good stuff. So those of you hanging out on chess.com as well, we see you in the Chess TV chat. Shout out to Steffi94 who just showed up. And, okay, well, Hikaru is transitioning himself into a pawn-up endgame. But it's not this isn't a position where the extra pawn is that much to write home about. Obviously, Hikaru said that in the chat, but the truth is white does have the bishop pair, and it's a doubled f-pawn. it controls some squares, and if you can get your knight to have a different duty than guarding the d6 pawn, like bishop e5, then Hikaru can eventually maneuver this knight into something useful that might help the 2 pawns. But this isn't the happiest extra pawn you've ever had.
I don't know. I think it's closer to a draw than it would be winning for black. And so it's an extra pawn in endgame
Yep.
with 2 minor pieces. And what black would love to do is swap off those dark square bishops. And that's what Hikaru tried to do.
Yep.
Because as soon as you trade the dark square bishops, that knight will dominate the light square bishop by hopping around to all the dark squares.
Yeah, and I'll show that here. Takes with the d6 square coming. Knights not only are the best blockading pieces, in many ways they kind of thrive in these situations directly behind pawns. So that's what Hikaru wanted. Dobrov said no.
Yeah, he's not going to be such a nice guy here. And the thing is, look at the extra pawn. It is a doubled F pawn. So how are you going to create a passed pawn? That's the problem with double pawns, right? They just can't push forward in an endgame to create a passed pawn. The knight on b7, what's that doing? And if white can ever trade off the bishop, the dark square bishop for the knight, we'll get an opposite color bishop endgame with tremendous
I like what Hikaru
chances.
does here. He's going to try to come to b4. One of the long ideas that he has to try to wiggle a win is to at some point play a4, right, to make a sack of the a pawn to free the a5 square, where that knight might target things like c4, come into b3. Obvious risks of playing a4. You're giving your opponent a passed a pawn, but this idea, I think Hikaru is very good, as we know in these time controls, of creating future time scramble tricks.
Yeah.
Right? What you've got is a situation where eventually the clock will dwindle. It'll dwindle, but you can also windle.
Yeah.
And you're a great whistler.
I don't know what just happened here.
But when the clock dwindles down, Hikaru wants as many opportunities to poke and prod and create swindles where he can catch his opponent off guard. So I like the flexibility Hikaru creates there, talking blitz and bullet strategy.
And here comes the king to the queen side because, like you said, after pawn to a4, the knight might want to go to a5. The king might also want to go to a5. Right?
Yep.
So if I can go king c7, king b6, eventually push the pawn to a4, king a5, maybe even king to b4, and that's going to be a big problem for white.
Yeah, and we see Dobrov trying to create enough counterplay to prevent that.
Right.
Making
G4.
g6 weak makes g4
Right,
possible.
g4 right now.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't. I was highlighting it. He went the other way. Okay. F4 played, and now Hikaru's putting the kibosh on g4. I like that, and here we go back to your plan. Sack the a-pawn, use the infiltration path for the king, and I think, I don't know, it smells like a game that Hikaru's going to find a way to win, even though the objective evaluation, Ali Reza Farusha in the chat earlier said boring. I think he was talking about the game and not my jokes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I mean, I'm going to make an assumption
He
there,
could
Ali
do
Reza.
both at the same time. He's a good multitasker.
Right.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, look at the bishop on c1, right?
Yeah.
That bishop is just stuck there, can't do anything. The bishop on c3 is quite good.
Yep.
The knight on g4 went from b7 all the way to g4 and is a much improved piece.
That's true. I like that. Let me get a little highlight in there. That's a path, right? That is a journey worthy of Frodo right there. The knight finds itself on g4, and white has nothing to do but just sit tight here.
Does that make me Samwise?
Yeah, you can be my Samwise to my Frodo anytime.
All right, Elijah.
Whatever, Rudy.
Oh,
Diamond member Real Greco, you never should have showed up. If you really wanted to work today, man, you shouldn't have showed up and tuned into this, because we've got nearly 8,000 people that see where the party's at. All right, well, he just hangs g3. King d3. Look at him. He's just like, I don't know what happened there. Like, he turned the other way. Like, sometimes when you make a bad move and you just look if anybody's watching, and then you remember there's thousands of people watching online.
Yep.
Darn it.
Because in a tournament, you make the move and you're like, oh, I hope my opponent doesn't see it. And now you're just like, literally the whole world.
Yeah, now it's just over. It's over. You can be our Smeagol, Daryl. If the three of us were on a journey to Mordor, Daryl Morey would be our Smeagol. For the irony of it, right? He's the tallest of us.
Yeah.
So we'd make him the shortest, the shortest little former hobbit. All right, well, the question is there any drawing chances left after hanging a g3 pawn in a way that was just an obvious blunder? Hikaru working his way back.
Here comes knight b6.
Yeah, you're going to come back and watch for this a4 idea we highlighted earlier. And again, even though it hasn't been on the board, the fact that Hikaru created that difference in the structure and opened that idea created those problems for Dobrov to solve, and ultimately, you can't just say Hikaru only won because of the blunder of the g pawn, right? That's one of the things you do as a strong player is create opportunities for your opponent to go wrong.
So he didn't go for a4.
Yep.
Which is interesting. And if he's not going for a4, what other idea does he have to win this game? because he's just sort of going around with his knight right now, and now he's sitting and thinking. But it has to be. This has to be winning for black. I mean, it would be very disappointing if it wasn't after you're up 2 pawns. So, yeah, okay, bishop's on.
But give it to Dobrov. I mean, he's making it like it's not that easy, right? Where's the break? And that's the problem with the extra pawn that Hikaru had earlier. Is it's a doubled f pawn. So there's not. I mean, again, and I predicted this before the G pawn fell. I expect Hikaru to win. You look at the 2-minute plus time advantage and the fact that black does hold all the breakthrough cards, so eventually you can try for something.
Right.
But if you were to describe an ideal blockading setup, this would be pretty close to it, right?
Yeah, I mean the bishop on d2 obviously would be a slightly improved version of this, but that's why the bishop's on c3. Hikaru put his bishop on a3 to b4 to c3 to keep that bishop a bit more passive on c1. But as we're highlighting, g5 is one of the ideas you want to play, but the pawn f5, and the only way to play g5
is to protect it with the knight here.
But then you're not protecting
but
g5
then you can't
anymore.
play g5.
Yeah.
Sorry for completing everything you were about to say there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you
I
eventually.
we'll go for a sandwich after this.
You mentioned a burrito before, and I was just...
Yep.
Here we're finishing each other's burritos.
Yep, you lost your mind on the food. All right, Hikaru changing his ideas. The king is going to come back this way, which I like this plan. I think that this will get him the balance of what he needs, which is the ability maybe... Oh, he goes knight there first, but how is he still going to get g5? I was going to say, I think you have to bring the king in first. Here he goes, yeah.
But I guess,
Second time
king
around.
g3, because now there's bishop... okay, so now king h5 you can play.
King h5, there's no check on the diagonal. And the threat is knight h6 and g5.
Yep.
So Dobrov going to find... He's going to hope to move the king... Oh, he goes back to f3, but that doesn't stop the plan. So I thought he might go to f2 with check, but at that point knight g4 would have come anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because now g5 is protected. So that was a really good king journey. The knight went on some journeys. The king went over to the king side to play g5, and now after the pawn push finally happened, it should be a smooth victory.
Dobrov taking a second to think, is there any last defensive setup possible here that maybe hasn't been considered yet? But I don't think so. Once g5 happens, the wheels are about to come off. In fact, you could even try to bring pressure here or really eventually try to force white to take. Put the knight on g4. Even better, honestly. Now that the king guards both pawns comfortably, you can find a new square for your knight.
Trying to figure out where that knight wants to go and how it's going to get there. So it goes knight g4, makes sense. Bishop e1 check allows the knight to make some progress.
Yeah, I thought maybe at some point the knight might come back to the queen side, whether into b4 or back with the idea of pushing a4 to get c4. But no, he commits g4. I don't know that knight g4 was the most... Yeah, he backs up and he changes his mind. I agree. I think that this is the right long-term breakthrough. He's going to bring the knight around, I think, to b6 and go for a4. But there's also ideas of trying to get into here. But if the bishop goes to b1, then what?
Right, because I kind of wanted the knight on h5, but you can't get there. There's no legal way to get there. So Dobrov's smart right now.
This is some Russian schoolboy defense here, right?
This is actually... it has to be winning. King h4. There, okay. Now g4 is kind of a threat.
Yeah, finally, is it? Or is it?
It looks...
g4, king
very
g2,
committal.
and you create the blockade.
Yeah, because you can't really go g3 so easily with bishop d1 ideas to keep the king away from g4. So
yeah.
Hikaru's probably very frustrated here. I'm frustrated just looking at this game. So I can only imagine how frustrated he is playing it.
Well, you got to give, again, Vlad some credit here, right? He's not going to buckle down. Not going to bend over. He's got a 1.5 score, right? The match is level right now if you're just joining us and wondering how we got here. Dobrov has played very aggressive, very enterprising chess. This has been one of the first games where Hikaru was better start to finish, really pushing. And so, as you take a look at the stat sheet there, we know, of course, he is not in the realm of OTB or Blitz level, really, of Hikaru, but he's a talented guy, and he's been a grandmaster for many years. So
did he just give up the f5 pawn?
Hikaru had to,
knight
but he's got knight h4.
Okay, so king e4 you have to,
king
obviously.
e4, but he's got the same color bishop. Oh, king
e2. But that can't help.
That can't help. No, okay, no, that wasn't good. No, he gives the grimace. I think he's going to throw in the towel.
Yeah, that was a long game.
Says, I'm glad no one's watching this. That was a really long game there. If there were any chances in the end, maybe going king e4 and risking the g-pawn running, but I don't know. I think if we back up and look at it, I don't really think he had anything else.
Yeah, it's probably.
Is this match strategy here or no? I think he was just trying to take his time to double check, and as the next game gets underway, we'll bring up the analysis board and just
I mean,
show
King
the
E4
finish.
had to be right. I just make so
Yeah.
after Knight H4, King E4.
The problem is that we're trading, and
but I have
you're,
Bishop F4 after G4.
Yeah, but is it fast enough?
I think it is. So G4. I mean,
Okay,
otherwise, what are you doing? Because I'm gonna take your pawn.
The only question is whether I can play this first.
But then I'll
And at G4, I get bishop back here.
Then I probably Bishop D2 sort of thing.
Okay, let's go for this.
So Bishop F4.
Okay. G3 takes G2.
Bishop takes C5.
Here.
No, take C5.
Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, so what was the...
I'm confused.
Okay, so one idea is perhaps to play for G4 immediately before trading.
And still Bishop F4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This would have been tricky. And again, the key line, everyone, is that at some point, if the moves that are obvious go straight forward, Dobrov is winning a couple pawns, and even if you have to give up the bishop, you've gathered yourself some peshki to compensate. Wow, look at Diamond member Sakas K, only rated 1936, but one guessed the move with 18 out of 36 over on Chess.com there. I think we'll find a way to bring these little mini scoreboards into the show at some point. A little extra screen capture, because it's getting kind of fun to see the flags where everyone's from playing Guess the Move right here.
Yep.
Yeah, I like
Very international crowd.
International crowd. All right, well, let's go back to the main game here. Interesting. He maybe just miscalculated there. He did kind of shake his head. He kind of knew that was maybe not his best approach, but there you go.
And now Dobrov takes the black pieces. He has an even by material endgame.
Yep.
But what White is trying to claim is my bishop on b2 is better than the bishop on e7. And how will that happen? Well, if you ever take me on d4 and I take with the bishop on d4, you'll see that my bishop is going to bring new life to the position. And so that's why there's this tension is being left. Right? They often say, if there is a tension, you only capture if it really benefits you in some tangible way. And taking on d4 certainly does not benefit black, at least in the past few moves, in any sort of meaningful way. So right now, if you take on c5, black is ready to take back, but there's some tricks here. So for example, let's say I waste a move with like h6, which might not be a waste, but take on c5, watch out for knight b7.
If you take with the bishop immediately, right?
Yeah, that's going to be very
even
tricky.
If you take with a rook, right, there's some tricks here at the end with knight b7, rook up, and even if it's just a big trade, the bishop will hit on d4 in the end. I don't know, but okay, rook c2.
It's more of a just keeping in mind rather than
right. Watch out. More of a the threat is more powerful than the execution, for example.
Right. And I see Hikaru in the chat saying score won't be super high because Dobrov is refusing to play quickly. Oh gosh.
The match strategy for Dobrov, I think, involves some version of trying not to lose too badly. So
it's pretty good strategy.
Yeah, not a bad strategy, right? Again, like your only chance against a guy like Hikaru Nakamura in this format is to keep it close and then, hope that he disconnects and bullet. I don't know what else to say, right? I mean, you look at Hikaru Nakamura's stat sheet, he fills it up pretty nicely, right?
Yeah.
He's, as you know, he's a 5-time U.S. champion. He's the best Blitz and bullet player online. I think if we remove increment for sure, but obviously when Magnus was playing in these events, there was something to be said that they played in the finals every time. But Hikaru Nakamura, his reputation precedes himself. The guy's a monster. And for anybody who doesn't follow his Twitch channel, if you happen to be one of the nearly 9,000 people tuning in, go over to twitch.tv/GM Hikaru. And if any of our mods actually, I don't know Vlad's Twitch username offhand, but maybe we can share that too. Would be appreciated because Vlad Dobrov also streams.
Yep.
So it is Dobrov.
And f6 by Dobrov, keeping the knight out of e5, closing down the diagonal for the bishop on b2. And, well, I mean, this tension still exists. And that's also look at the tension with the knights. Because if you ever take on b6 with this knight, I'll take with my a pawn. And that not only reinforces my c5 pawn, but also opens the a file for rook a8 to hit the a2 pawn. That's a backward pawn that you might have some trouble dealing with.
White might try a4 in some of these lines, right? You're trying to get rid of the weakness and maybe improve the bishop. But still, this is already counterplay for black, and I agree. This is tension that kind of favors black. And Robert and I talk about that a lot in terms of why does tension favor one side or the other. It's because, well, okay, if white ever trades here, this is almost always an improvement for black, as Robert said. Reinforce pawns and allow you new forms of counterplay. So this is something white doesn't want. And so Dobrov is going to kind of sit on that point. Rook d7 also opens up knight d5, Robert, but I think he's just going to kind of sit pretty and ask Hikaru how he intends to win this position.
Yeah, and that's okay. He went over to c7. Now he's threatening some c takes d4 ideas with the knight on c4. The knight isn't hanging, but a pawn will be probably lost in the end of these variations where black takes on d4 and takes on c4. So that's why Hikaru finally decides to take on c5, and I guess rook takes c5. How does he plan to meet that? So rook takes c5 looks like the right choice. Why
not?
But maybe bishop d4. Okay, that's actually a bit
kind of irritating, right? If rook to c6, though, I'm still holding everything, and your knight is still pinned.
I'll take with the bishop on b6, I say, without any sort of confidence in the decision, because, b5 is...
But you can then move the rook.
But then b5.
Right, b5, and I get my rook in, and you regret life. So Dobrov is holding the c-file. Hikaru would love to simplify the knights and maybe start infiltrating on the d-file, but, the problem in all these lines is Dobrov is perfectly positioned to just liquidate everything.
Yeah. And here, as we said earlier, knight takes b6, a takes b6, and, we have a stare down the c-file, and the a-file now is open, so I'm going to swing my rook to a8.
At some point, or a5, even if you're into that.
Yep.
Right, a2 is a problem.
Dobrov is playing very well.
Whoa, Hikaru just went full eyes to the ceiling. Now Hikaru Nakamura look number 13 there. That means he's pretty deep. When Hikaru's eyes roll in the back of their head, for most of you watching, that's because you're about to go to sleep, or your mother-in-law just walked in, and you're like, oh, right. But for Hikaru, that means he's about 13 moves in. There you go. You're welcome. Hikaru translators, fully present. Aye.
He chooses rook c7 rather than rook c6. I don't think it makes a huge difference, because anytime there's bishop takes b6,
you can't take everything on b6 anyway because the rook hangs.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said just a moment ago, Dobrov was playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so b5? Okay, that's why I wanted the rook on c6. I didn't want to allow this trade, but even this is rook a8, or rook.
Okay, but you're still going to get rook c2. I still think the most likely result is a draw.
Yeah.
And I don't know that really changed if the rook was on c6, but I hear you. Yeah, preventing that could have been black's chance to be better.
Right. In fact, I thought if anyone was better, it was going to be black. But, okay, here still the situation is such as, like, you go rook b6, I go rook a5. Is the a5 square the best square for my rook? No, but it defends
but it's doing its job, right?
And it's not, it's not a passive piece. It attacks this pawn on a2.
Yep. No, I mean, he's held on. He's only down 30 seconds on the clock. So if you're Dobrov, that's like being equal on the clock against Hikaru, right? It feels like a moral victory, right? You're not getting flagged. Shout out to Steffi94. Thanks for sharing. The way to play Guess the Move is to just follow the direct link to Chess.com, and you can follow the game there. Maybe we can get that link shared on Twitch, too. If anyone wants to come over and play Guess the Move, you just got to make moves on the board and try to play better than the chess players that are actually doing it. So appreciate that, Steffi.
Interesting decision by rook a7 here.
Yeah.
Because rook b6, now you're not taking on a2.
We're going to get a big trade, but then b4. Why did he go for this?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, he's just going to be down a pawn.
Feels like the wrong choice. And, we can just show it. Right? I mean, that's going to happen. We need to show it. So rook takes b4. So he's down a pawn this endgame.
He's going to be down a pawn, but he must have felt like there's just a very good holding chance given that the other structural things in the position favor black. Double def pawns leave white, limited counterplay.
It's strange to me because only white obviously can be better here, if not winning. Now that there's a passed h pawn and a passed b pawn.
Yeah, that was very strange. And now Hikaru's got his wish, which is two weaknesses, right? Principle of two weaknesses.
Yep.
Makes Vlad a dull boy. And look at him. He's kind of looking off like, what did I do here? Like, why did I go for that? I mean, we're running the same thing, big guy. I don't know. I mean, you were holding just fine in the rook ending. Play rook a5.
Yeah.
Always listen to Hess. You can't spell chess without Hess. Let's back up and show everybody again what exactly Robert's variation was, and just because it was pretty simply, and this is kind of a common rook ending scenario, that sometimes you can be the first to take a pawn but end up with your rook in a bad square as far as guarding what's remaining. So you got to be careful in those situations. As Robert was saying, it just didn't make a lot of sense to lead with this rook. Put the other rook on a5 to protect b5.
But now I'm looking at rook d4, probably just kind of
this was his idea.
That
so
idea.
Hikaru had him in a tough spot anyway. Okay.
So it was rook c7's fault. I liked rook c6.
Yeah, all the way back here. Robert highlighted back here that when retreating, rook c6 made more sense in a lot of ways because it prevented the rook ending that ensued. And this would have been black's chance to even be better in some situations,
Yep.
right? You have to watch out. Like, you can't play rook e8 right away, everyone, because if you do, there would have been knight e5 discovered checks.
Right.
But okay, if black can find a way to get pressure on the a file, this is not a bad situation.
You're going to go b5 anyway, right?
You're threatening b5 to kick the knight. So, okay. Yeah. Well, Vlad shakes his head, but as we know, it's going to be a tough one anyway because Hikaru Nakamura does his thing in the Speed Chess Championship. But a 2-game lead for Nakamura with about 40 minutes left here in the 5-minute portion. Again, shout out to all those playing Guess the Move over on Chess.com. We see streamer Braden Laughlin over there repping that Canadian flag. Ooh, Kerry Fan, the CEO of our own ChessKid.com playing. Classic Kerry.
And doing well.
Doing well, actually, in the top 5. There you go. Loving it.
I love these type of positions that we have right now because white will at some point try to go like g4, maybe f4, to start pushing some pawns on the king side.
Yep.
Whereas black on the queen side can do something similar, right? c5, b5 kind of stuff. So very adventurous play for both sides available here. The problem playing f4 for white too soon is that if you ever play f4 and allow bishop takes c3, sometimes you worry about giving up the e4 square. Okay. But for now,
let's look at
not
it. So
something
if
to be
f4 on the
about.
last move, for example, f4, you can't take with the bishop because check.
Yeah. Or you could actually even consider that.
You could actually. It's that the bishop pair could be that nasty, right?
Yeah, look at them aiming at the king side. But yeah, ideally you're not trying to give up pawns. Right. But the point is that at some moment f4, g4 kind of stuff is coming, which you might want to lead with g4, g5 just to kick the knight away from f6 for that very reason. And
this has been the kind of chess that Vlad has played all day that we've been happy to see. And here he's up on the clock for one of the first times in the match. Hikaru fully leaned in here. He knows this is a dangerous position for black.
Right. I mean, and he's also spent quite a deal of time.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. This is, the way you have a chance, right? You've got to be aggressive. You got to be willing to play theory that you might really challenge your opponent. And the worst thing that ever happens, and you and I as teachers know this, when we have students who say, "Well, I lasted to move 50 or something." We hate hearing that. Like, I don't want that attitude, right? It's not about how long you last against a strong player. Like, did you ever have legitimate chances? And that happens when you go for it.
Yep.
Don't go for g4 now if you're worried about bishop e4. But you could even do it. You've got bishop d3.
Yep.
Oh, okay, he does it.
Yes, bishop d3. I think knight e4. You can't play bishop e4 here like you might want to for black because then bishop takes f6, right? Remove the guard of your bishop on e4. So knight e4 is probably the move to play, but then bishop d4 for white, and it's looking good. It is looking good for Vlad here in this game.
Yeah, I like it. The bishop comes to d3. Hikaru saying he's bored in chat. We'll see if Vlad can give him something to think about then. And here we go. We've got the bishop pair. For those of you who don't speak chess, or French for that matter, welcome. But the bishop pair provides advantages in open positions. That's common chess lingo, and something that you got to be aware of, especially because the bishop pair, it's much harder to keep positions closed long term than it is to allow them to become open, so to speak. So bishop pair is a big advantage in a situation like this. So.
Yep. Rook e1, very
nice move. It prepares both e4 and gets your rook off of that diagonal, so you can now play your move g4 you've been calling for. If g4 happens, I'm busting out my emote. I'm the only one with a g4 emote. I better be.
Yeah.
I was the first.
And only.
I think somebody else has one.
Did you just turn left?
Right. Hansel. He's so hot right now. I've never been able to turn right. I'm the anti-Zoolander. Like,
that was so
I'm
bad.
like the character in Key and Peele's like friend, where like I don't shake my head, I can't turn my head. So but I can always.
I love you throwing.
I've always been able to turn left. There we go with the Hansel emotes. I love Tommy, that guy. All right.
Ooh,
so now
interesting
the
tactic.
Is,
Bishop d4 would be a blunder here because rook takes d4.
Ooh, sack the queen and get jiggy with it.
Yeah, back rank issues.
Back rank issues. Story of my life. We just made those issues worse by putting the king on a1.
Yeah.
Here comes g4. Now you have an anchor, which is the h6 pawn, right?
At some point, the knight has to jump into the e4 square, right? Like, when is the question, but it just has to. Because otherwise, what's black's plan? And I think Dobrov's doing a good job of kind of sitting on the position for a while. And bishop d4. This knight takes f4, I guess.
Yeah, Hikaru's creating threats on the e-file here, and I feel like this position missed its opportunity to expand. I mean, we've been talking about g4 and e4 for far too long, given that they're not on the board, right?
Now e4 will be played if you give it to me with tempo, right? Because the knight on d5 would have been under attack.
Yeah, so he creates a new threat. Bishop a4, very nice. And you can't play b3 because I spy a little pawn.
So bishop b4 here, potentially, just saying, all right,
Bishop b4
let
looks
me
good.
attack your queen, allow me to play b3 in the case of bishop a4.
And
yeah.
then maybe rocket.
No, but now bishop a4.
Maybe. Oh, sorry, I forgot you were guarding b3.
Yeah.
I moved the queen to a random square in my head. I didn't realize that random square guarded b3, and Hikaru does it. Okay. So bishop a4, a renewed threat here.
What about some kind of bishop
f5?
Yeah, but e3 is hanging. That's the annoying thing.
Yeah, you almost just want to move the queen off and get rid of this by taking away the power of it. Even queen b1, as much as I hate to say that.
Yeah, I don't.
But okay, like you could play queen b1, bishop a4, and rook d2, and
actually instead of queen b1, what if you play bishop h7 check?
Okay.
So my idea is check, king h8 only move, then take on d8.
Okay.
And then play bishop f5, but I guess you can even go queen d5
Yeah,
there. I was trying to go e4 and make some progress somehow, but
right.
I mean, it still looks pretty good for
We have
white.
action. Dobrov played f5, and Hikaru quickly responds queen e5. Okay, he's brought the queen into a spot that completely prevents the g-pawn from moving.
Yeah.
That's actually just really irritating because white really wanted to blow things open and let the bishops do their thing on the open diagonals and files, but that kind of coordination is not happening here.
Rook takes d4, free
Oh,
piece.
he missed it.
Rook takes d4.
Blundertown. Hikaru lifts his eyebrows, shakes his head, says, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you. And Dobrov is like, I know. I know. Hikaru's like, I warned you about this. I said don't give me the bishop for free on d4.
Yeah.
Let me analyze and show everybody because even though the Hikaru's facial expression kind of said it all, let me just remind you why it's a win of a piece. The queen and rook together hit e1. They have x-ray vision through this e-pawn, and so when Dobrov puts the bishop on d4, he allows this tactic. Takes would have been met by shake and bake, and there you go. Hikaru Nakamura gets another victory. He's back to 3,200, 3,201 if you're keeping track at home, right? Not even his all-time peak. What is his all-time peak at Blitz? Something closer to 3,300.
Just phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I don't know. That's
phenomenal.
I can try to check.
We can open up his profile here. That's the advantage of working together. Not just that we can touch elbows from time to time. His all-time Blitz is 3265.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting that today. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Hikaru, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
3,300 would have been better, but we'll give it to you.
He'll keep working on it.
Look, you'll keep working on it. We've got about 9,000 of you with us still. Thanks for being here. Whether you are tuning in on Chess.com TV or Twitch.tv/chess or one of the many places on the web that this show might be embedded, I don't know. Thanks for being here either way. Hit the follow button. It's purple. It's pretty. You'll get alerted the next time we go live from Twitch. So there you go.
Oh, I guess I should do that. Well, because
I know you already follow us.
No, I don't.
And we've got some tweets. Of course, the daily question is which underdog is most likely to outperform their seeding. We talked to you about our opinions quickly earlier. We know that Dobrov is a heavy underdog here, and he knew it heading into it, but we've got some answers. So based on these percentages that you're seeing in the vote, that's a direct reference to the fact that if you're on Twitter, you can vote directly, so please do it. Give the official @Chess.com channel a follow on Twitter as well. Fallujah, obviously going to be a favorite, for sure. A lot of people like Fallujah, and we know that. Artemiev is an underdog in speed chess with a question mark. It's a good point. In fact, I can tell you, my partner here, Robert, you really like Artemiev's chances in that match.
I do.
I'm a bit more of a Sasha homer.
Yeah.
I just, I feel like Grishik is a former World Blitz champion for a reason, but
does that make me a Sasha Bart? If you're going to be
look at
homer?
that hair, by the way. I mean, that is a fro for. Like, is he preparing to corn roll that thing? I don't know what it is. We call that the mushroom top, the helmet hair. Let's just say it's hard to get a dart through that thing. Protective gear.
A dart.
Artemiev is a super talented kid. I say kid, obviously in his early 20s, but he's rising through the ranks not only in Russia but on the world standing. So he got an invite this year, and we're looking to see what he can do.
And Grishuk has been very complimentary of him because when they played in the World Team Championship, they're like,
Yep.
oh, with no Kramnik anymore, who's the team leader of Russia? And he called him the Chuck Norris of Russia.
Right. Shout out to all of our subscribers. You're coming in, all of our premium members. With you, these shows are possible. We appreciate the support. It means the world, really. It's not just like jokes. Like, with you is the reason we're here. So thank you for your support. Look at this.
F3 is not a move
F3 is
you
not
want.
a happy move for Hikaru. That D4 score is calling my name. Danny.
Yeah.
Danny.
I mean, it's just juicy, right? Look at this bishop on G2, though.
Put a knight on me.
So you,
Okay. I'm not sure why my inner voice sounds like Tally.
I'm scared of you right now.
All right, but knight f5 was actually a really strong move, not just because of the pokage on d4, but also the g3 pawn here.
Yeah, and white can't really afford to take on f4 because then when you take with the e pawn, it opens up the bishop. The g file is open for rook to come to g8. It's just not something you ever really want to do as white.
Yeah, and again, Dobrov is up on time, so give it to him, right?
Yeah, no, he's playing pretty well. He's been getting outplayed in certain positions. Of course, as we continue to mention, Hikaru is the higher rated and stronger player, but Dobrov has been putting up a very, very good fight, and in this one too, right? He seems to. Ooh, G4.
I feel like that's a bit of a win for Hikaru to have closed up the potential tension, because even with H5 coming, okay, unless you find a way to go to full sack down, I feel like that slows down things just enough that my attention turns over here and wonders what, he's going to take with the A pawn. I'm already liking every endgame for white. Okay, D5 though.
Very smart. Just open up. There's a pawn D3 that's a clear weakness, and he's going after it right now. So knight D4, you don't really want to trade.
I don't think you want to play anymore.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather put it on A5, and he played it before I could highlight it, because the point is if you trade, in the end I get D3. Anything to keep the D file open is what black wants.
Right, you want to get after that target. And the problem is if you put the knight in D4, look at your bishop on G7. Whoa.
Wow. What does Hikaru see?
Wait.
I don't see what he sees.
Caught me off guard. So if I take on D4 with the pawn.
Let's see.
Don't.
Oh, he has bishop B4.
Ah, okay.
I see, says the blind Dan.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Then he's going, oh, wow.
I was like, you're right. I mean, it's just a pretty obvious move, but it's like that pawn just didn't look like it was going.
But okay, even this is still not so clear, right? The dark square bishop is an asset for white, and it's gone. If black can find a way to get his bishop going, there's potential there, right? But so he plays D3. And
bishop C3 or bishop D4 to E3.
Yeah, I think the exchange sack gives Hikaru the material he wants, but this is not an over and done with game yet.
Yeah, bishop C3 right now looks quite reasonable. The F4 pawn is hanging in many variations, but okay, he's going to make it for queen C. No, never mind. I thought he was going to go for queen C2. But the bishop's
C5
hanging.
first just hangs F4. That's the problem with the move order.
Yeah.
And he sits back and, again, kind of like, what am I doing here? Rook D8. Again, he's got all his hopes on Donna over here. What's Daryl? Daryl Morey in the chat, so we'll go with the D-pawn Daryl. A lot of hopes on Daryl reaching D1.
I was hoping it'd be Donatello.
Hey.
You know how I love my Ninja Turtles.
I sure do.
Cowabunga.
I wasn't gonna go there, but, you know.
Sometimes you have to. I had no choice.
It's a childhood memory that we try to keep getting you to move away from. Queen F4.
Watch out for rook takes D5.
Followed by queen B8 and mate. Oh, that's puzzle rush.
Yep.
Puzzle rush.
Because knight B3 is the move you want to play as a response. This is why he went bishop G8.
Shout out to JD Cannon in the Chess TV chat. Says, why does white need the attack? He's already got material. I love it. Like, come on, save some room for later, Augusta. Save some room for later. You don't need everything in one meal, Hikaru. Yeah, that's true. I feel that way sometimes in my position. Like, I'm like, I already sacked a pawn. Like, why do you have to have the compensation too?
Because it wasn't a sack.
Hey, that's the twist ending. All right. Well, Dobrov still has chances riding on Daryl here. but Hikaru's going to take a think and kind of just outrace him. Here comes your wizard, Harry.
Although
Yep.
some kind of queen trade might not make it so clear, but I don't see how you get like queen e3.
Queen e3, I can't play h6 because you trade and then take.
No, if I trade enough for you, take on g7 check.
Oh, yeah, it's check. Actually, so I can just ignore you.
But then
Let's analyze it. Takes h6.
Bishop takes h6.
Oh, duh. I thought I was going to find a way to get in here. I mean, that's kind of a move you got to worry about.
Right. I don't disagree.
Right? Hitting everybody at once.
But I can just move my rook up.
He puts the knight on e3 in the game, and Hikaru achieves h6.
Knight takes f5, protects g7.
That's irritating.
Yeah, that
actually, I wonder if Hikaru missed that. He leans in here like, wait a second.
That's not ideal at all.
Forgot about that. Okay, so much so that he's going to take it, but now you're really all in that this dark square is going to lead to mate. How sweet would it be if you could sack your queen on g7?
I knew exactly.
Oh my god, that would be so nasty. Now I'm crossing my fingers.
So like if you go back, we can show that.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to show. So after d2, let's say d2, which is
right.
Looks good. Now rook d7. Hey, I stopped your mate, but queen g7.
You didn't stop my mate. Puzzle rush. That would have been sweet. Okay, Dobrov sees this, at least slows it down for the time being, and okay, but now queen g7.
No, it's not.
No, it's not mate. The g8 square is free. Oh, I thought it was the same thing. I thought he actually missed it. The point everyone now is if takes check, the king has a square. So, oh man,
you scared me though.
I forgot to take my meds this morning. Oh.
So who's getting mated first? That's the essential question. You can't move the rook off the back rank just yet because there's queen c check.
You can take d3 though, and the queen is overwhelmed.
But queen a1 check.
Queen a1, the king runs up. Bishop e5. King h3 runs into rook g3.
No, there's a rook on d3.
Ah, duh. Okay.
So is it just? You can play queen e5 and try to liquidate into a situation. Yeah. So it was queen f1. So he's not gonna.
Most likely a peaceful result now.
Rook takes h6 with check.
Yep.
Black should push this.
Black should push. It's his only chance in the match. You got to push games like this.
Yeah.
Try to bring the rook to g7, even though it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's gonna be a draw. Yeah.
What about bishop h4 here?
Okay, he's gonna push h4 and try to do things with the rook. Bishop e5, rook g3.
He has to try.
Yeah, he has to try.
He can only be better.
Yeah, but that's a lot of people say that as their last words against Hikaru. Have you ever watched Eric Hansen's stream? I can only be better here.
Wait a sec. How did I lose that?
Yeah. Shout out to Eric and the Chess Bras and their World Cup coverage, by the way. If you're not tuning in, go to twitch.tv/chessbra. It's been amazing. Looks like we're getting closer to a winner with Dingley Ren, right?
Yep.
Ring, ding, ding. Who's at my door? I'm Magnus. Oh, it's Dingley Ren. Coming to knock on that World Championship match door.
You almost sound like Edgar Allan Poe.
That's right. Okay, rook g7. You're holding b6 already. You can play h4, but then Hikaru will put the bishop on g4, and there is no rook g3.
Also, time is now not really on. Oh, bishop f5. Honestly, this is something.
I told you, the famous last words against Hikaru is only I can be better here, and then you lose.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, it's a rook h8. I'll have king g5. Okay, he goes there anyway. Time favoring Hikaru. Position favoring nobody.
King h4. Okay, bishop. Put the bishop on c5 even. There's no threat of e5. Try to get your king in and play rook g3 if you're... Okay, try to move a little faster now because you're under 10 seconds. Now
king
play
h4.
king h4, e5, rook g3. Actually, okay, Hikaru's going to win this game somehow. I don't know how, but it's just...
I'm starting to agree with you.
Yeah.
He has no business winning this game. What, you want time?
Vlad's like, lost track of that one.
Oh my gosh,
I lost
lost
what
track
we don't
of
want
that
the fans to lose track of is the Speed Chess Championship schedule. As Vlad tries to gather himself after that one, let's remind everybody that we got a busy week. You and I are going to have a voice of soreness.
A voice of soreness?
A voice of soreness on October 6th. You get to go to the Isle of Man after that. But anyway, we got a very exciting week. So if you're tuning in to the Chess Channel here for the first time, make sure you give it a follow. October 2nd tomorrow, Mamadjara versus Wesley. So that's I mean, every one of these matchups is a coin flip. So Nakamura Dobrov is, I guess, a good way to start. Not to say that this match is over, but let's be honest, this is not going to be a coin flip.
Right.
But Mamadjara So, Who do you got in that match? I have no idea. Save it for tomorrow.
I did love Wesley's comment when in the interview.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, well, what do you think about this matchup?" He's like, "Well, what do I think about? How did I get Mamajaro as my first round opponent?"
Yeah, how did that happen, right? Of course, after that, we have Aronian versus Firouzja as the first match on October 3rd. Starts at 7 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to make sure you don't stay up too late. Tuck you in real nice.
I'm rooting for the guy with glasses.
Your bedtime is my kid's bedtime on that night. I'm putting you to bed.
Okay.
Firouzja and Aronian, you're rooting for the guy with glasses. LOL, I just got that. Okay, the next match on October 3rd is all Russian action. More hair than he can use versus someone who could use a few back, right? And these two guys are going to give us a thrill ride, I'm sure. So I'm so glad that's our last match because we're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
But Grishik is just going to give us a show. I just know it.
How can anyone not love Sasha?
Yeah,
right? He's just so entertaining.
If you don't love Grishik, it's a you problem for sure.
That is
for sure.
You know, you say that often, and sometimes I disagree with you about Sasha. It's 100% true. If you don't like Sasha Grishuk, that's on you.
Yeah. David Roca Spark Chess and Chess TV Chat said, "Oh, Firouzja's playing in this. R.I.P. Naka." I don't think so, buddy. I think Ali Reza would disagree with you in that too.
Look at this Daryl trying to get a question of the day. Should there be a per-move shot clock in speed chess? Asking.
That's a different kind of format. You just get a certain amount of time per move, like 3 seconds, and it just constantly runs down and runs back to 3 seconds.
Ali Reza goes, Sir Alex Grishuk. He knighted him.
Yeah, he is a knight in Iran. I believe Grishuk is a knight in Iran.
Hey, Dobrov won.
Way to do your commentary job, Robert. Okay.
Sorry, I know.
Well, this next one gets underway. Let's back this thing up and see what the bleep happened there. I don't know. I mean, I'm allowed to bleep myself, right?
Yep.
Okay,
it's
so
very needed.
We had a traditional kind of QGD, bishop f4, nothing spectacular. But this is what you got to do. You got to play theory.
Yep.
Dobrov goes in for mainline kind of Tartakower stuff here. Knight e5.
Solid, taking up space.
Right. Was it a blunder or did he get a big attack? Okay, b4 is a very nice move, putting the kibosh on anything on the c file.
Mm-hmm.
Dobrov is, and then he gets a big center. Okay, this was just a great game for White. Not even a
knight
blunder.
a4 was.
Yeah, knight a4, not a good move by Hikaru.
I mean, the position looks.
I mean, you can play knight a4 if White has to part with the bishop,
right?
But not if you can trade the knight and keep the 2 bishops on the board. This is just bad pawns. Okay, so what happened here? Just loses the a pawn.
Oh, and the bishop on b2 is lost.
Oh, so bishop b2 is a blunder.
Yeah.
So if he had backed up, he's worse. He's just down a pawn here. I mean, Dobrov has a great position. You bring the bishop back and guard e4.
You're knight c6, actually.
Or even knight c6, right? And the a pawn is, how you like them apples.
Yep.
Right? So fantastic stuff here. Shout out to our winner of Guess the Move, Alpha winner from France, who won Guess the Move in that brilliant, very quick Big Vlad victory. But okay, we're back to the main game. And
those pawns on c6 and c5 don't look too happy.
Okay.
f6 thematic. That way you can play for e5. But this pawn structure is so bizarre because look at
both sides have pawns that only a mother could love, right?
Yeah, this pawn g4 is particularly useful to stop f5, which is what Hikaru is going for. He went c4. He's saying you're not getting f5, you're not getting bishop d5 in.
I mean, you're already looking at bishop a3 potentially here.
Yep. But then a4 comes in just a move.
Takes us. No, but he does it the next move just because the rooks are connected. But it could have been either move order, I think.
So rook a5 here looks like a must. Right? Is that a necessity?
Interesting. Rook a5, there's knight takes c5. Can I get away with it? Come on. Come on. Give it to daddy. Come on.
So you want opposite colored bishops?
Hey, you know how I feel about opposite colored bishops.
Oh, actually, that's bad. If you...
Okay, let's look at it.
I think. So it takes, bishop takes, b4, and just bishop e7 or something.
You're going to get the 2 bishops.
But that's a really nasty outside pass
pawn. That's an a-pawn.
Yeah.
And I know how to use it. Okay. Well, anyway, he's going to get c5 straight up. So Vlad decides he can't defend. I feel like we're about to get a miniature the other way. I think Hikaru's just going to win this game very quickly.
You think so?
I
Even
think
material, opposite colored bishops?
I don't know. This king can't get out of the center.
But that h-pawn might be useful to just start pushing that thing. King f7, e6. Maybe my king's happy in the center. Not really, but I'll make it sound like it. I don't think black's in too bad of shape here.
Okay. I stand corrected.
So rook b8, I don't know why that move is particularly necessary, but... Oh, look, he's attacking. He's bringing the king in.
Mm-hmm. The king on f7 is That was kind of my thought when the bishop has landed itself on c5 that the king on f7 would get in trouble. But okay, maybe I'm just. I mean, but why don't we bring it all the way to d6?
I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
Look at this. So king
King
e5
actually threatens rook f1, right?
Right. So king e5, rook h e8. You can't take on h7, I don't think, because
I mean,
the bishop g4 check.
Yeah, okay, bishop d4 does the job.
See. So you went.
He doesn't go king e5. He played rook e1, but this would have been interesting.
I
Right?
liked it.
You play like rook f1, and then I don't know, go all the way in, like all the way May. It's not just a name; it's an attitude. You know.
I love it. I'm here for it.
And now Dobrov is actually expanding. I mean, I don't know that Hikaru didn't miss a chance there to get a little more aggressive. We got the king emote being used there in Chess TV chat. Diamond member, my name is Andre. Nice to meet you, Andre. Andre? I'm going to go to the school for kids who can't read good and figure out your name later.
You do turn left, so everything's correct here.
So bishop e7. Okay,
D7.
Hikaru pressing a little bit, but
Rook
these two pawns
D7.
are going to hold for black, I think.
Yeah, just go rook d7 here. There it is. Okay. And
h5, h4.
But
Then king g4. You don't have bishop e6.
Are there
Put the bishop on d5 first.
But then b5.
Oh, in fact, you could even sack.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking about.
Right? Bishop d5, let's show it. Oh, okay, he plays king f7, but if the bishop had gone to d5, look for Hikaru to just sack, and then these pawns just run.
There are two of them.
Two of them.
They're very fast and very fast.
Hashtag rhyme time.
Bishop c4 coming at some moment. Does he need to do that? That way, like he's
he's got to relocate the bishop to a diagonal where the point is, everyone, is you could play h4 and then check the king off. Ooh, this is actually getting irritating now for Hikaru. He's leaning in, and the reason is that king f6 guards bishop e6, so king g4 would be met by this check.
Yep.
And because of that, Hikaru has to run the king backward, but now the pawns can push.
Yeah, g4 looks just inviting, actually.
Why not? Bishop d5, also a very nice, kind of patient move. Improve the bishop, try to play king f5, g4. Let's push all of our pawns together.
So he went rook e5, and he's probably going for that sacrifice on d5. But I don't know. Now the pawns are so advanced that
now that black is in range here.
So could he have gone g4, or maybe it was just not quite in time because that b pawn would have run.
Rook e8. This is the right idea for Hikaru. Bring the rook to the back door where you can give checks. The problem is that g8 is guarded by the bishop, and that's going to be irritating for white.
At some moment, g4 has to be a good move. Probably not quite yet.
But why not, right?
Actually, that's a great question. g4 looks pretty good.
Do it.
Because rook h8 is met by king g5, and now
Right.
protecting you don't have the g8
You don't
square.
have rook g8 check. That's the key thing.
Yeah, this is starting to look very troublesome for...
Yeah, Hikaru leaning in. He knows it. Dobrov has taken his time.
g4.
He finds it. He goes for it. Wait, where's my emote? G4 exclam.
I love how you looked as if it was going to be anywhere besides on the internet.
Besides, on my computer.
You look
here
towards
to the
me.
right.
You're like, Robert, you're here. Please help me. I'm like, I don't know.
Where
what to
is
do.
it? Where is it? I got to bring this over to Chess.com and get Dallin, the design team, to add it. No, Danny, we can't just add one emote for you. Yeah, why not? Please.
You know what's funny? We were talking.
I know he's listening right now. What?
No, I was gonna say we were talking about sacrifices for white, exchange sacrifices. At some point, rook takes d6. Like at some moment,
get rid of the bishop and then
yeah,
do your thing.
You need your king closer, like on e6, to be able to do that. But just it is an idea that has come to my mind.
Yeah.
So g3.
G3 first. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, but here come the pawns. And I don't know. Can you stop him? Right. So rook e8. But what is the rook doing on e8?
Yeah, again, it lacks the most critical square, which is g8.
Oh, rook h7.
Here comes Harry.
h3, h2. That's actually the threat right now.
Yeah, on the board.
And one thing I'm going to point out, because you know I always do this, look at the a4 pawn. Look at the a1 square. Look at the colored bishop.
Uh-huh.
Now it's
okay,
less
Hikaru's
relevant.
got to go for it now. He plays b5, all in on this idea. What's his trick? He wants to dislodge the bishop. Yeah, rook d8. He's hoping to push the c pawn before it's too late. But look out for crazy.
I was thinking,
look at this. b4 takes. I don't think it works, but this is crazy calculation time. But again, Hikaru understands the timing of these games and knows when it's getting squeezed and he needs to do something, right? So he's going to make a mess of this and try to get Big Vlad to lose himself in time pressure.
Yeah, bishop c6 felt weird because it invited rook d6,
Yeah,
which is what you want to
which
play anyway.
immediately threatens rook f6.
But the king will go to g4, so it's not the end of the world, or even g5.
You would just love to play b4 here, right?
I want to. So
It's just a little too slow, but he's calculating it. Unfortunately, I think he's going to come up with
too
nothing.
slow. But you also have the h pawn running. So let's say b4. We got to calculate.
Let's do it. b4.
Rook takes. B takes. Oh, he's rook a6.
Yeah, rook a6.
You've ruined all my plans.
I know. That's my thing.
No, this is
I
not.
ruin stuff.
You're the ruiner.
I'm the big ruiner.
Is that what they
That was
called you in high
also
school
a
too?
nickname.
I knew exactly where you were going with
ruined
that.
the party, Dan. Oh man.
Dan, who didn't let others finish their jokes, and I take them for himself.
That was actually my Native American spiritual name. So that was a different lifetime. So.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man, Dan.
Oh man, Dan. All right. Rook f6. Here comes king g4. Like you. Ooh, king g5.
Keeping the bishop honest. Stuck. Oh, now h3 is a big threat.
That's the key. Because if the bishop moves everyone, the rook falls. So okay, but here we go. h3.
Yeah. So
who queens first?
That's a great question, and
Hikaru's got the time to calculate.
Because c7, you can play bishop d7 to cover that.
With 8 minutes left, very likely we will get one more 5-minute affair after this. But if you're just tuning in, you came to the right place. The most exciting stream on Twitch today is right here. Let's be honest, okay? We've got a full hour and a half ahead still of Blitz and Bullet.
What? I feel like multiple.
You almost want to push the G
I was
one
thinking
first
that too.
Then you can queen with check.
No, but the problem is G2,
then
king F2.
Oh, you just come back with the king, and now H2.
Yeah, I take it.
Oh, you're giving me everything because you get a new lady.
Yeah.
Let's show the line because Robert just gave us grand. Rook takes C7.
Wait. What?
Oh, it's just going to peter
B4.
out. Does he have B4? He had it.
But it's the wrong color queening square.
It's the wrong color queening square. All the king has to do is get here, and you can sack everything. It's a draw.
That's why I always mention it.
You pointed it out earlier.
I'm telling you,
let's
it's why
show the line
I always
Robert was
mention
talking
it.
about. You dirty dog. We're going to show the line Robert was talking about. If G2 to get a queen with check, the king F2, H2, you take everything because in the end of these lines, you get a new lady, and it doesn't matter. But in the game, okay, the king's just going to run to the corner. Hikaru sees it. He's running. He's drawing.
Hikaru knows when bishop is the wrong color for the corner.
No, I mean, it always is something we do. We try to obviously add educational elements where we can, not all just bad jokes falling on deaf ears of Tommy Shelby. But it's a super important point, right? Because you noticed it very early on, and it ended up being a key storyline to the game. And we'll back up quickly for those of you who don't exactly understand what we're talking about, why this is such an easy draw. We will show, but
hold up. King F5, King G. I'm trying to think about this. How?
Oh, the key is whether you can get D6. He gets there in time.
Yeah.
It's a draw.
Yeah.
Unless Dobrov.
Well. Wait, but how can you win this? You just go
just
bishop B8, bishop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you and I have ever been so silent together in the same room.
I was just like uncertain what was happening here.
Someone's like, "Are they okay?"
So probably was.
We're able to show you why it's a draw right here.
Yep.
Because this position, despite being up a piece and a pawn, you are unable to get the king off of the dark squares. We will show it to you on this analysis board. Again, you can put your king wherever you want. Doesn't matter. You can have 1.5 million moves. Eventually, you're just dealing with a corner pawn versus a king, because to trap it in the corner is stalemate if you make any move here. If you move away, the king goes back. And if you ever push, stalemate. There's no way for the bishop to force the king out of the corner. And again, Robert Hess gets credit for highlighting it as far back as even way before this position. Something with the rook still on the board. We were already talking about
there
this
definitely
theme.
Had to be great winning chances there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're going to focus on this next one. It's likely going to be our last one of the 5-minute portion here. But, no, there were winning chances there for Vlad for sure.
I think it was winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see Ali Reza has been chatting up there as well. But I definitely think, whoa, what is this? King is on F8?
How did that happen? Yep. Well, if you're one of the 9,000 people just getting here, don't go anywhere. The Speed Chess Championship. They're going to have a very, very busy week, and this match is still plenty ahead. So hit that follow button. It is the biggest event in online chess, and we're glad to have you with us. We got Mohamed Yarov and Wesley So tomorrow, Levon Aronian and Ali Reza Faruja, Artemiev versus Grisha. I don't even know what my favorito is. I just know I'm going to enjoy a burrito with my favorito.
So we're getting burritos after this.
Yeah,
is what you're
for
saying.
sure. The more we talk about it.
What is this position?
I don't know. I mean, all I know is that Vlad doesn't know either because he's down a minute on the clock against Hikaru, that's not the medicine that you order. Like, how do I beat Hikaru? Like, get down a minute on the clock. Said nobody ever.
Right.
So,
well,
but okay, he's trying to figure it out because wait, can he just trade, play knight f3, and his king is in trouble.
But knight g5 ish.
I love when you're confident. Knight g5. Your voice gets higher.
You don't have to play knight g5, but yeah, knight h6 also protects h7 by blocking the queen. Offers a queen trade.
Can you play bishop d3 though? And now if g6, f6 falls, and if f5, knight g5.
You're just going all in for that pawn. I mean, the bishop on d6 looks weird. You have to go b6, bishop b7.
Oh, look at that move. He tempts fate. Says, take my pawn, Bobby Fischer. Never going to get that bishop out. Bishop c4. But okay, Dobrov is still Dobrov. Nikolaj.
Wait, what? Knight takes b6?
Dobrov.
Okay. Oh, bishop f4 check. Got it.
Yeah, you couldn't move the knight because the bishop gets out. So just to show that, real quick, Aruski.
So after b6, knight takes b6.
Yeah, b6, you take b6 or f6. There's check first.
Yeah.
And then you win a piece. So there's no discovery on the bishop there.
Yep.
So there you go.
Knight c3 back. Just calm, cool, and collected, trying to play bishop d5 and trade bishops.
Yeah.
At the right moment. Okay.
Bishop d5. You want to get action in here. You want to get some hitting on the d7 pawn. How do you do it?
I'm going to play a4 here. Okay, h3. As soon as bishop
h3. That's a nice move, actually. It says this knight's not going to get in.
Right.
Shout out to the bits there. We love you. Thank you so much. Supporting our channel means the world. Thanks you for helping these events be possible. Appreciate it. b4, knight e2. Okay. Black is expanding. This is how you unwind the dysfunction.
I feel like we're in a Sicilian now.
Yeah, suddenly we're in a Sicilian. And, not the move that we're going to see. Okay, but the d-pawn is still the weakest on the board. And
the knight h6 is looking, off side over there. Knight d5 can be played right now.
Knight d5.
And the thing is, black doesn't have a clear path forward. I definitely like black's position more than I did earlier, but I'm not seeing... Wait, knight d to e6 check? Is that also possible? Knight d4, yeah. Wait.
Yeah, he didn't do it. Why not?
What?
Puts the knight on h5,
Can we show that?
Yeah, let's do it.
What was wrong? No, sorry, I said knight d5. What about knight e6? Then king e7? Ah.
That was the problem.
Super annoying.
Sometimes you have to complete your own
variations.
Mm-hmm. Bishop e5. Yeah, Hikaru is unwinding. He's doing what he does best. Slowly wiggling his way.
Knight c5 will be annoying coming up. The a5 pawn is hanging.
Yep.
Can I just steal the a5 pawn?
Yeah, he does. I thought about c5 being a square that forked a6 and d7, but knight takes a5 is good enough.
You said yummy.
Yummy, yummy. Right? In my tummy.
I want to go bishop c6, but because I'm trying to play for some forks.
Yep. I love how aggressive you get when it's other people's pieces.
Always.
Looking for sacks on the brain. Yeah, this just looks good for Vlad, actually.
He's up a pawn. Hard to imagine it not being good for him. Again, the two bishops.
He's threatening knight c5.
So rook c8 makes sense.
Rook c8 defends it. Put the knight back on b3 and renew the threat.
Yeah.
Why not?
I guess knight b3 I play d6.
Okay.
But you're right. That's his...
Hold the square. Okay, king b1 also just prophylaxis. That means kind of play some defensive moves, right? Avoid the opportunity to blunder when you make moves like that, where you just get a king off of an open file. Okay, that's actually really irritating. Look at the bishop on a6 suddenly, like a ninja.
Play bishop e2 here.
Oh, you found it. Oh, that's a grandmaster move. Let's show why, everybody. You couldn't bring the rook to f1 because that's a problem. But bishop e2 gains a tempo on the free bishop here before you can take f2. And if you trade, not only do I win my piece back, but if you take, I win this guy and this guy. You lose a piece. So bishop e2 that's called playing defense with offense right there, the definition of it. And now he can trade. He can even actually, oh wait, look how irritating that move was by Hikaru.
Yeah, rook a8 just defending it.
I think you can play knight b3. I think that's the key.
But then bishop takes f2. Wait.
Oh, wow.
But okay, this endgame here, you have this d pawn that we talked about earlier, a3 finally. Give your king some luft.
I think a4 might have been, okay.
Yeah, thematic.
Wow.
But wait, rook e4 now?
You sacked the a pawn to push it.
But rook e4, you have knight f3 to d2, I guess.
Okay. So Hikaru trying to trade, but this knight doesn't really want to trade. If he has to, the problem is this bishop is better than the knight in these endgames where it holds both sides of the board down.
But you have the clear pass pawn.
You clearly, right? I mean, white is the only one with a passer for sure. Dobrov is better.
So where's this king think it's going? It's a king
b3. He should have played king c4. Now white gets c4.
Well, king c4 was going to be my knight e5 check. That was the problem.
Ah, couldn't play king c4. If he did, knight e5 check, fork emote, fork town. Oop, flipboard town, accidental town.
How many towns are you in today?
There's a lot of them.
c4.
Well traveled.
You are. I thought c4 was good because then he could play c5. And
he wanted to prevent king e4, so he's trying to get here. Okay, and here comes king e4. He wanted to get king d3 first and then c4 check, right?
Yeah, now it seems like that went to waste a little bit.
Yeah, now he's just down a tempi, kind of.
Yeah, that tempo's not coming back. g4 now? Or like king, someone king f4, king g3 is going to be really annoying.
But this is the example of why you avoid positions like the bishop is better than the knight here, holding long diagonals and helping apply pressure at the same time. Look out for g4.
Right.
At some point, black is going to be the one pushing here. Here he goes.
Here goes the push. Hey, look at the h pawn. Look at the h1 square.
Oh, snap. Dirty girl.
I'm just,
That's how Dobrov draws.
I don't know about that. This position's not looking very fun.
Yeah, Hikaru outplayed him here in an endgame that we thought white was the potential aggressor with the first pass pawn, that being the b pawn. But Hikaru's playing fantastic. The bishop is a dominant piece.
Yep, very strong. Blockades the pawn, as you mentioned. Also limits the white king's scope from getting to f2, g1. And some of these endgames where the pass pawns are being pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And look at him just splitting the board.
That's what the bishop does best, right? You can't ever play. Oh, actually, you can't play 93 because if you trade the b pawn run, that's your last chance. Actually, I think you missed that.
Yeah, that was a big blunder.
I was just about to say you can never play 93 because of the trade, and actually, I think Hikaru blundered that.
So bishop takes d4 check.
Oh.
Let's look at the analysis board. Then h3.
Oh. Yeah. Taste the soup. I don't want to taste the soup.
No.
What?
Go back.
Okay.
After b6, now it's king c2. b6, h2.
Oh.
Wait, but no,
it doesn't matter. The queen gets there, but I got to show the idea anyway. If this pawn was already on d2, everyone, Robert's idea is you get a queen, sack it with check, and then you get a queen with check, and you get back just in time. That's a very, very important endgame trick to add to your repertoire, but it's one tempo short.
Yeah, but instead we have this position.
Wait, what?
Where, it's going to...
Okay, it's just going to dissipate into a draw.
And Hikaru ran away.
Hikaru immediately recognizes that the time is up. Doesn't even take the draw. Uses his extra 2 minutes of break. You know what that is right there?
Extending your break?
That's extending your break. That's experience in the SCC format. He's like, I already know the time is up. I'm going to let my clock run out. And but wait, if he loses on time...
He's not going to lose on time.
If he loses on time, he loses because there are pawns on the board.
Right.
That would be the way this thing would backfire. That is experience by Hikaru using the extra break here. Going to, I don't know what he's going to do with that extra 2 minutes, but that's 2 minutes that Dobrov's never going to get back.
Yeah, maybe he's picking up food.
Oh, maybe someone's at the door? Uber Eats?
I mean, sounds good. I'm hungry.
Let's not talk about it. We've got 9,300 people here not wanting to go anywhere because the action is really only just getting going. Definitely not going to do it right now. Let's see if Hikaru loses on time. He's good at smack. Oh, I love this guy.
That was epic. He just has a hammer on hand.
Like, first of all, who keeps a hammer next to their desk? Someone who's smashed himself a computer before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Wow. Okay, well, we have liftoff, so to speak. The Speed Chess Championship week has begun here with the number 1 seed Hikaru Nakamura currently taking a 3-game lead over the 16 seed Vlad Dobrov as we head into the 3-minute portion. Don't go anywhere. More Speed Chess Championship action when we return. 8 of the most elite Chess 960 players on the planet are set to clash in the FIDE World Fischer Random Chess Championship quarterfinals beginning October 4th and ending October 6th, played exclusively on Chess.com. It's a game where creativity is king and memorization is impossible, and only one player will earn the right to call themselves the king of Fischer Random. Vladimir Fedoseev, Alireza Firouzja, Wesley So, Fabiano Caruana, Peter Spidler, Jan Nepomniachtchi, Vidit Gujarati, and Hikaru Nakamura. These players will take center stage as they attempt to outwit and outclass each other in a chess variant that many consider to be the game in its purest form. The FIDE World Fischer Random Chess Championship quarterfinals will be an event like no other. With over $350,000 in prizes up for grabs, it is the biggest prize fund for any event in online chess history. Will you tune in to witness who moves on from the quarterfinals to join Magnus Carlsen in Oslo? Tune in on the first weekend of October on Chess.com TV and Twitch.tv/chess. It's the FIDE World Fischer Random Chess Championship, organized by Dunde S and Chess.com. And as you know, Robert Hess is here alongside me, brought in not only for this busy week of the Speed Chess Championship, but as that hype video just reminded you, the Fischer Random World Chess Championship qual. I'm so excited for this weekend.
I'm pumped. We don't even know what positions they're going to be.
No,
Nobody
we don't
knows.
know. Like
Nobody
legit,
knows.
we don't know, right? And the team that's working on that will reveal it to us. We're actually going to be doing the opening ceremony on October 2nd. Just real quick note that after that match, after the match tomorrow versus Mamedyarov and So, we're going to reveal who plays who, and then the positions will not be revealed until 15 minutes before the first game on Friday. So it's going to be so exciting, an event like no other. A daily question like no other is something that we try to bring you every show we have, and today it seemed appropriate, knowing that we had a big underdog that was going to be throwing down against Hikaru Nakamura, to ask which underdog do you think has the best chances? So if it's not too late, get involved on social media. Let us know your opinion. Use the hashtag SpeedChess, and there you have our odds calculations, Robert. As you look at it, we know Hikaru's a heavy favorite. What odds jump out to you regarding our question?
Well, I would say Ding being 1 in 35, because for me he's a relative unknown online, and I think that's why he stacks up pretty consistently with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave.
Right.
Maxime was less favored in his opening round matchup, but as you go down, you see 1 in 34 for Maxime, 1 in 35 for Ding, and I just don't know. I have no way of knowing how great Ding might be.
I think the one that stands out for a lot of people has got to be Firouzja being a 30% underdog versus Levon Aronian.
Yeah.
I mean, Aronian has a lot more experience in this match, and I do believe Levon is the favorite as the stronger player, despite a lot of people, I think, maybe looking at Firouzja as the favorite. So, but I think that's much closer to a coin flip in most people's eyes than the stats would suggest. So, anyway, give us your vote. Follow us on Twitter, of course, and let us know your thoughts on it. So, our thoughts are that the 3-minute is about to begin here. Any moment, the game will get underway, and we will have liftoff into the next fastest time control. 60 minutes of 3-minute blitz is about to happen. If you happen to be new to the Speed Chess Championship format, followed by 30 minutes of bullet. So you predicted coming in, Robert, that if Vlad was going to make a move, it had to be in this time control. The Smarter Chess prediction backed you up and said that Dobrov has his best chances in 3-minute. So we'll see if he can get this match a little bit closer before bullet happens.
Well, he definitely surprised me in the 5-minute portion because he played very well. He scored 3.5 points, which is certainly more than was expected or predicted for him. And I just think that he's showing no fear. And, of course, it's very clear that Hikaru Nakamura is the stronger player. But as you said many times already, that if you are going to take out one of the top seeds, even in a single game, you have to be willing to venture into just mainline theory, but also just show, like, you know what, I would play this if I was playing against someone lower than I am. I need to play the same thing, play the strong, objective chess, and try to outplay him from there. And look at this position with the black pieces right now. The bishop on g2 is just stuck behind a wall of pawns.
You know, it's not your favorite pawn. Bishop, 40 slip there.
Your little Franken bishop there. And, of course, White's idea is at some point to go g5 and blast open the king side, but that does appear to be a bit slow. Now, I think that to his credit, Hikaru has done well to shore up the queen side, and that's why I think that Dobrov played c4 a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Dobrov gained anything for it. In fact,
yeah, the pawn is easily protected. I mean, okay, this bishop is still a bit of a Franken pawn, but at least in this position, it's serving a purpose, right? It's holding things together. And Hikaru did, by the way, get the g5 move you called for earlier, which means the g file is open.
Yeah, it seemed like the c4 pawn sacrifice was too soon. I mean, the bishop protects both e4 and c4. Mm-hmm. The knight on e7 not in a spot where it can start attacking those pawns. And now if you look at the queen side with the bishop on b4 and d2 situation, if I take on b4, I might get myself a passed a pawn real fast.
And he does it.
Yeah,
he likes it. Likes them apples, and watch out for this to be a storyline. Now e4 is weak. If you were just comparing the pieces, you kind of like this knight versus the bishop. The problem is that there's much more than just the pieces on the board here, and Hikaru has a passed a pawn. Here he goes. This is looking tougher and tougher.
Yeah, rook c5, queen b7 hits the rook on 8 and the g7 pawn with checkmate, and Vlad does not look very happy. You know, the way he just shook his head, was like, nope, this isn't going my way. Knight h5 to f4 is something that you can always consider here, as White's king side is a bit open as well.
Knight h5, f4. You'd love to do that and be able to swing the queen over somehow because the king is open. But look at Hikaru. I mean, he's just this is just abusive.
It's surgical.
He's coming forward ruthlessly.
But knight d7 is a very good move because now the a pawn and the c pawn, well, down goes the c pawn.
Oh yeah, he's losing a pawn for sure.
Do you take it on c6 and allow bishop? I was about to say knight c5 looked more precise to me because now e4 falls.
The problem is that these two pawns are still just super strong. Combine it with the back rank issues, right? The fact that there's threats back here, lurking, waiting, watching. The crazy game. This could be a wild finish. We actually have Smarter Chess currently leading this game in the Guess the Move standings. But let's remind everybody the fact that they can play Guess the Move. This is from last game, the last game of the 5-minute portion. We had someone getting 16 out of 44. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Right? USA all the way. But if you didn't know, you can just head over to Chess.com. We'll share a link with you in chat how you can follow the games directly. And you can play Guess the Move to try to be better than our grandmasters or line up with them, however you're into it, right? And the thing you and I both love about Guess the Move is that it's educational, not only to see if they do something different than you, but even if you're following with an engine, it doesn't help you to win Guess the Move because these guys don't always play the engine moves, right? So if you're trying to win Guess the Move and be at the top of the leaderboard, you want to use your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, look at this position right now. 4 pawns for white, 3 for black. A7. Ooh,
oh,
gosh.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts. Oh, the piece is falling.
Well, he put the king on h6, which I didn't think was correct
ideal.
At the moment. But
well, okay, he still has an outside shot here at some counterplay with e4 coming. Okay, e4 prevented right now because of rook g4 check. So watch out for that.
And king f2, rook g4 is going to be mate if you allow that. So
yep.
Not good. Not good at all.
Not good at all. How do you keep it going? Okay, Dobrov doesn't know how he's going to keep it going, so he throws in the towel. And with that, game 1 of the 3-minute portion is in the books.
And Hikaru continuing his trend of playing a different opening every single game.
Yeah, he has. And this has not been a traditional Hikaru approach to Blitz and Bullet, where we talk a lot about the fact that Hikaru loves his kind of B3 weapons, right? B3 no matter what they do, G3, Bishop B2, Bishop G2. I don't know. I forget if it's a hippopotamus or a hedgehog. I don't really know. I don't watch enough Wildcrats to understand, the symbiotic relationships that happen between animals. You got a lesson in that last night from my daughter.
Honestly, that was very instructive.
Yeah. No, she knows a lot about animals from watching that show.
I'm very well aware now.
She's talking about rhinos and the birds that eat the food out of their teeth.
Yeah, rhino birds.
Rhino birds.
You should pay more attention.
I got to pay more attention,
What is going on in this game?
Yeah, I'm starting to pay attention to D6 square. Okay, gets rid of that knight.
So can you just go like queen E2 and eventually, or bishop F4 maybe it's just smarter to protect E5 well, and then take the D4 pawn off the board?
Yeah, I like bishop F4. I like putting a rook on C1. Ooh, knight G6 stops bishop F4. I feel like you were right. He should have played bishop F4 earlier.
Unless he's going to take on G6 and then take on D4 and just play that way.
I knew that a call to action of rhinos would get Midnight Rhino to show himself. He's lurking in the chat at all times. Thanks for being here, Midnight. Thank you for the love. And all right, well, Dobrov gets the rooks where they want to be, but you still can't ever take d4 without e5 falling, right? That's the problem.
Right.
So now,
So
now
we're just,
what?
yeah, how is he? He's just gonna go queen c2, and he's just gonna sit on the position.
Well, that's why I liked, if we back up and talk about your move order, I liked bishop f4 first because, as you said, the main thing was that now on knight g6, you get to put the bishop on g3,
Yeah.
holding e5.
Oh, look, this move queen c2. I think Hikaru missed that rook c7's coming.
Oh, wow. It's a double threat. Rook to c7, and now that you've got the bishop on this diagonal hitting h7, you might be able to take here.
Well, also a6 is just hanging.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
That's
so
a big problem.
he went a6 to undermine the defense of the rook, and now this is, and he can't go rook c8 either.
Oh, a piece sack,
What?
and he takes with the pawn. That's Hikaru recognized that he blundered there and is just trying to create the best situation now.
Yeah, this doesn't.
He's down a piece and likely going down in this game.
Just bishop b5, pawn a4, something like that. Just, keep your passed a pawn. Seems pretty wise.
Bishop b5, play a4 to reinforce it. a6 stays. If you ever push c4, d4 becomes a target again. Hikaru knows he needs to go for it anyway. You got to try to do something fancy in a hurry.
Yeah, I almost want to take on d4 at some point, play bishop e3 and push my pawn to a7 because obviously pushing that pawn is my main priority. And all right, now I'll go bishop c3. Oh, okay, stop bishop c3,
Yeah.
bishop d4, which is my idea.
Yeah, but Hikaru's created some kind of mess here. I love that like 7 people made a clip of the hammer with Dobrov. There's been 7 different members who've shared different clips. That's a moment of the match right there, not too soon to be forgotten. What he should have done was had like a separate laptop next to him and like banged it as if he was beating up his computer. That would have been even funnier. Not to say it wasn't funny.
You're like, I'm just going to tell him how his joke could have been way better.
Yeah. All right, d4 played, which means c3 will follow, but then d3 falls. So I think Hikaru is.
But bishop b4 is coming. So after bishop a1, bishop b4.
Okay. Actually, this is
Not
classic
so clear.
Hikaru. Hikaru has created an absolute mess here. I have no idea. Now Dobrov's giving back the piece.
Yeah, and Hikaru's like, what?
Because not only can he take c3, but then f2 falls in a lot of positions.
I guess he's going to just start picking at the pawn chain. Take
Yeah.
c4, take d3, and claim that's enough. Black does have some back rank issues to deal with. So bishop takes f2 right away. Queen takes c4. The knight would have been pinned. Oh.
Whoa, that was kind of weird by Hikaru.
So white is now up 2 pawns.
Yeah,
Which is
and
honestly, he didn't do this intentionally, right?
He recognized that it was better to just keep the blockade of the obscure bishops, right?
Yeah,
now he's got the dark squares.
He stumbled in. I'm saying from Dobrov's perspective, he stumbled into something where he liquidated her. Instead of allowing all these pawns to stay on the board, he took 3 pawns for the piece, and now he's up 2 pawns on the queen side there. So sometimes when you're up material, often you want to see
I was saying, but from Hikaru's perspective, I mean, this is the right choice, I guess, to just now make Dobrov beat you, right? Because this is not such a clear plan to use these A pawns when Black has complete control over the dark squares.
Right. But I do think that, just from a principal point of view, giving back material when you're up significant material to clarify the situation can often benefit you.
Yep. Especially in Blitz from a practical point of view when you're already down a minute on the clock here. I mean, Dobrov would like to just play the most perfect technique, right? But what matters is winning the games, getting the W.
Bishop d3.
And if you get yourself under time pressure, that doesn't happen. But bishop d3 looks very good.
But then you can take on c2. The problem is that this f2 square needs defense, permanent defense.
At all times.
So I like his decision to go rook d2, saying, I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to play bishop d3 next move. And you're going to be probably a checkmate over there.
The problem is the king can run out, right? Queen h7, you're going to give this check, but if you take on g7, Black takes d3 and gets f2. Uh-oh. Very nice move. Let's show that line real quick, just to show you that if White had taken one more, rook takes d3 would have allowed queen takes f2 check.
Yep.
So Dobrov had to play bishop to e4 first. Hikaru immediately responds with an exchange sack.
Oh, bishop c6. Saying queen e8's mate.
I got to get the live position.
Queen e8 and queen d8
bishop
are
c6.
both mate. And now the rook on f3 is just
Very
lost.
nice finish there. Dobrov gets a victory in the 3-minute portion. Let me show exactly what was happening there because I started mouse slipping all over the place. That's why I don't win time scrambles. Because bishop takes d5, Hikaru sacks the exchange, but rather than taking the rook, just bishop to e8, bishop to c6, threatening queen e8.
Yeah, that's nasty.
GG, yo, right? Okay, well, Dobrov gets a big victory, and the 3-minute portion is not over yet. Dobrov's quote here: "I will prepare a normal way." Okay, I didn't want to keep reading that quote. This is what they do to me. They Ron Burgundy me. They give me quotes that I shouldn't read on air. Dobrov is he's known around the world for having a lot of children. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm not getting involved here.
It's actually really true.
So I'm looking at the chessboard, and I'm looking at those doubled e-pawns, which here actually can be a good thing for black, because your pawn on e5 takes control of the d4 square, so maybe you can play bishop c5, bishop d4 ideas at some moment. The pawn e6 says your knight's never getting to d5.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to Smarter Chess, who won the Guess the Move last round. Good stuff. Over Tayeb99, who's regularly a troller in Twitch chat, but actually a Diamond member over on Chess.com, and pretty strong player, almost 2,500 actually. So he got second place. Smarter Chess took you down though.
Smarter Chess, sometimes proving that his
name
chess
right.
is smarter. Yeah.
You know.
And all right, the knight came to d4 after all. There's no knight e2 check, and Dobrov shakes his head like, "Oh, didn't see that one coming." Because now queen d7 is my rook c7. That's going to hurt. And
yeah, Dobrov is like, this is a rebound game for Hikaru. Those are the most dangerous kind.
Yeah, I don't know what's to do here. It looks
Yep.
like it's potentially worthy of throwing in the towel on this one.
Currently, despite being down 3 games, now back to 4, Dobrov is actually at his highest statistical chances to win the match at 7%, which is saying something given that he came in at 95% favorite for Hikaru Nakamura.
Yep.
So,
and I see
who said this wasn't a close match?
I see Armenia Eagles in there. Hikaru will win 20.5, 7.5.
That's
What are you, Smarter Chess? Sound like
that's interesting. That's a shout out to Archak, manager of the Armenia Eagles of the Pro Chess League. For those of you wondering what that is, check it out, prochessleague.com. But that's pretty close. So Artok saying 20.5 to 7.5. The Smarter Chess prediction was 21.5 to 7.5. So
and Smart Chess saying job security threat by Armenia.
job security threat. Yeah, you better watch yourself, Smarter Chess. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a traditional Queen's Gambit declined here to watch, and the knight on e4 trying to help establish potential on the king side. But this is a position where white usually is just a little better. The fianchetto setup makes it very difficult for black to get an attack, and right as I say that, knight takes f2 is played.
Yikes. Because king f2, queen e3, king f1.
I practically shook the sack out of myself. Like, I wasn't on camera, but I was like, yeah, right? I went.
There will be no king side.
Look at this. And the point is the bishop. Look at this, everybody. If you take, the point is queen e3 and then bishop a6 check. That's full board awareness, Holmes.
It's a pretty big check there.
Oh, my God. Hikaru, right as I said, that the fianchetto structure normally pretty solid. Thanks, Dan. Right? It was solid. I'm going to show it on the analysis board.
Why did he resign, actually?
Well, rook d1 allowed this sack. If he didn't do it, what I was saying is true.
No, but in the rook d1,
okay,
knight takes f2. What's wrong with knight takes d5?
Guarding e3 with the queen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's.
And if takes, you just take.
I'm not saying it's a great situation for white.
But
obviously,
he was actually.
Knight f6 comes. You have knight g4, knight e4 threats. You know, it's clearly black is doing well.
Black is on the assault.
But knight e5. I mean, it's definitely not a resignable position.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
I wonder if he either just missed knight takes d5 or if it was out of emotional frustration that he just threw in the towel.
Armenia Eagles goes, Dobrov is also going towards my prediction path.
Yeah, that was a rough one there. And, wow.
But that's the thing is, right, when you blunder, you have to just, like, really just try to say, okay, I made a mistake. I didn't see it coming, but let me look at the position and be objective about it. He wasn't. He just threw in the towel. And, yeah, that's – I don't know. It's you know, if you gave him that in a classical time control, he'd miss it, and then he'd say, "Okay, knight takes d5." I'm still in this game.
And he'd find it right. And no, but that's a good point because it's one of the things that's difficult about the format, right? So many games back to back to back, you don't always have your emotional wits like you do in over the board classical to gather yourself. But the best players do. I mean, Hikaru talked about that when talking about Ali Reza, you know, joining this format now, saying that, you know, one of the big tests is how do you deal when tilt happens, right? When you lose several in a row, what's the emotional situation, right?
Yep.
And you know, the experience that these guys have and knowing that they can't beat themselves if they want to stay in the match is in addition to being good at chess, like Hikaru's really good at chess, it's one of the things he does really well in this
Yeah.
format. Right? If he loses a couple games in a row, he keeps his wits about him.
And I mean, Hikaru's doing a really smart thing, especially for Blitz. 2 bishops, a lot of open space. Queen takes e4 is met with bishop f3, so I'm going to win the b7 pawn. After that, the a6 pawn, so it's not a free pawn. And that's what the bishops need, is open space, open diagonals. So I think this kind of setup for Hikaru is perfect.
Although I
E5
like this move.
Very good move.
Yeah,
very, very good
it's
move.
saying, I'm going to keep this structure as is so that this bishop is not your favorite piece.
And the bishop on e7 might quickly turn into a much better
you can
piece.
play bishop g5, but watch out for h4, right? There's some weird ideas here where if white can take here and follow it with e5, that could be a real problem.
Yep.
So Dobrov has to be careful about bishop takes f4. Because of that, he gets the queen off of the staring contest with the bishop. King f1.
So his g3 at some moment is going to threaten to trap this knight, but the knight is trying to run via h3 back to g5.
Yep.
So the knight just can't move.
Hikaru's going to try to Jamie Foxx that idea of trapping the knight, slow jams. He's going to bring the bishop to g4 to guard h3 and then try to renew this idea. I like it, actually. I like it a lot. This move also prepares h4.
Exactly. Because h4 takes away the g5 square.
Yeah,
so
h4, let's just show it, right? If you had done something else and h4 comes with tempo, then g3 followed by king g2 traps the knight because g5 is guarded. So Dobrov voluntarily retreats so that he can maybe have a move here to think about how he's going to deal with h4. Unfortunately, he's not sure how to deal with it anyway.
g6 maybe?
g3 still coming.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What?
What? What? Oh, man. Takes, queen d7. You just won a pawn. Even Hikaru's like, what? Why not at least put the queen on e7 to hit h4?
Because g3.
Ah.
So he's trying to escape with queen
But I
b5
can take
check.
and play e5 now. That's the thing.
That also, yes, that looks pretty promising.
I think that Hikaru is picking flavors.
And which flavor
Look
is he choosing?
look at that accurate calculation. He picked my favorite Baskin-Robbins flavor.
Which is?
Everyone always says butter pecan is the trapped knight of the ice cream world.
That was brilliant.
Queen f1. The knight does get out here, so you challenged me, and I did my best. You know.
I don't even know what to make about that. That was.
We've got a lot of people playing Guess the Move now. I love it. And I love that we have a live leaderboard. It updates as it's going, so I get to see people who's winning as it's going on. Expertise currently in first place with 8 of 18.
When you have a username like that, how could you not be leading?
Expertise. That gives Smarter Chess another run for his money. They're coming for his JOB today.
Yeah.
Everybody, look at that. Okay, that's a good move now. If Hikaru trades, we got a problem with the bishops on the third rank.
Yep.
That's actually, how do you deal with this move knight b4? If you
rook c2 is an
rook c2 so I was thinking you could almost play rook d2, but okay, he puts the bishop there, allowing rook to d2. Sorry, rook c2.
Okay, so he's just saying that he's just up a pawn. But the knight does come to d4, but it'll go bishop c4.
Bishop c4, work it in.
Wait a second. Knight d4.
Okay.
Okay, he goes bishop to a d3. What I was going to say, was there something like knight f3, rook h2 ideas, but now they...
Oh, some sort of mating idea. But look at Hikaru. Super smart. Give up a pawn and keep the 2 passers that matter, and here comes e6.
Yeah.
Again, Robert's idea here was that if white doesn't go for this and maybe tries to just keep it simple, then things like this come into play, and there may be like mating nets over here on the king. But Hikaru, aware of that, doesn't allow it, instead simplifies with a couple of passers.
Nasty. d7 check, unstoppable.
Yep, d7 followed by baby girl Elizabeth on e8, and Dobrov is he's doing well.
You're whispering to me even though I'm right next to you.
There's 9,000 people here watching us.
So creepy.
I know. White shadow.
Can we talk normally now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. All right. Bishop a6. Did he go Blumenfeld? Yes, I love it. My favorite thing is when Hikaru plays openings that I play that he regularly ridicules me for and says like, every opening you play is bad, Danny. One of the nicest things Hikaru's ever said to me, actually. Your openings are real bad, Dan. Anyway, but when
also your nickname
Hikaru
in high
plays
school?
when Hikaru plays the openings that I play, makes me so happy.
But what if he gets just bad positions?
If he gets destroyed, he'll be reminded why I play bad openings, not him.
So how does White continue here? Because if I had two moves at once, if I knight h4 to f5, right? Trying to.
This is why you don't play the Blumenfeld. This position is so bad for Black.
Yeah.
This is so bad. Oh, Hikaru. Never go full Dan, buddy.
He had to take with the f pawn e6. I think we should show that.
Yeah, we'll back it up and show it. If you take, so what's about to happen now is horrible for Hikaru. If you take with the d pawn, queen a4 check, picks up the knight.
Yep.
Right. Instead, Hikaru takes with the f pawn, but we have a different type of fork, a6 and the g6 square. And as we get back to the real game, Dobrov is on the attack, and this is not a good position for Black.
Well, Black is up a pawn, so that's the good news. The bad news is there are a bunch of weak squares. With the g6 square, the bishop on g7 isn't doing too much, but yeah, 94, that looks...
Good move. Hit c5.
So what about queen c6 here?
Queen c6. The thing is...
Knight h4? Knight h4. Yeah, maybe knight h4.
He just takes it, because if you take back...
Rook c1.
Yeah, rook c1 is one. That's why Hikaru was shaking his head.
Yeah.
If you had taken on c5, then rook to c1 would just pick back the piece. So Hikaru didn't do that, and there you go.
Yeah, now there's king is open. You're not even up a pawn anymore for your troubles.
You're not up a pawn. The attack is on. Knight h4 comes into whatever flavor square you're into, and
yikes. I don't think yikes even covers
this is a game that Hikaru plays to remind himself to stay fresh. Right?
Yes. So how about knight g6, king f7, knight e4, or something like that? Like I just want to... Yeah, he's playing just smart.
Queen h4, I think. Okay, h3 also keeps an eye on g2 so that queen g6 doesn't do anything. I mean, there's knight d6
d3
and knight d7.
Oh.
I don't even know.
Free pawn?
Free pawn, I guess, right? It also opens up the h file so you can put the knight back on f5 and hit h8, indeed.
I really want to discover attack the knight and look at this. Rook c3 over to g3, getting rid of one of the defenders there.
Yep.
Looks quite wise. So rook g3 played.
Bishop f8 guards e7, so there will be no forks. But now you could even play rook. Okay, I was going to say bring the other rook in. Just renew the threat of rook g6 and rook g3. So he does it. Now the other rook can get involved.
Yeah, that's a mating attack. But, I mean, Hikaru honestly is fighting really well here.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to just be game over. Now knight d3 probably to attack the e5 pawn.
Yep, and if e4, there's also knight f4.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, queen g4 I think makes sense. Because you even just threaten queen takes g5 just to be simple and get the pieces off the board.
Yeah, queen h5, queen h4 even is possible, which is funny. Sorry, he has a queen h5, queen g4, queen h4.
Yeah, he does it. This makes sense. You're threatening h4, also threatening to take g5. Oop.
Free.
Oop. Oh, it's a back rank. You can't take g6. Did
you see Dobrov's face?
Oh my gosh. Did he just swindle him?
His face was like, oh no. Okay, so let's see. Oh, queen takes...
Freaking Hikaru. Dobrov is like, what is going on here? You just lost a piece.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so upsetting.
Dobrov is like...
Okay, he's a million pawns.
God!
Where's that hammer?
Yeah, okay, he still should win this game.
Yeah.
But, just absolutely nuts there. The point... Okay, we'll keep the live position here. Let's just show everybody what the tactic was. The whole point was that Hikaru plays knight e6, and Dobrov already thinking the game is almost over. Oh, he just blundered the e-pawn, right? He should have played h4 and freed his back rank, but Dobrov takes here, thinking he's winning a queen or more, and knight g7 exposes the back rank. Dobrov would have lost on the spot, so Hikaru is back. I mean, not necessarily in the driver's seat, but this position is just... Hikaru. Look at that. That was nasty.
That was...
Silly Dobrov. Tricks are for Hikaru.
That was ridiculous.
Dobrov?
But he's also up like...
Nikolash.
But he's up 4 pawns for that bishop. Just push them all.
Yeah, push him, baby.
Okay, well, now f4 is falling, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
f5, I guess you can try. Might as well. Ooh, look at the little tickle.
Yeah, that's a good
But
move.
knight d4 check. But the good thing is
Now you can go
he's just
g4 with the king.
exactly. He's just
Or oh wait, he's just winning. What was he doing? Yeah, we agree. He was like, oops.
yeah.
He just blundered that. He was like,
he forgot that knight
takes b3, remove the attacker.
Yeah, now he's getting his king in unnecessary. It's like rook c6 is almost mate, but the king goes to e7. That king's just running.
Yeah, mating nets for Hikaru to figure out, but he only has 30 seconds if you're Dobrov, and that's not good. Rook check. The king's running in.
95. Okay, yep. King d. Oh gosh, king d7.
Who's gonna get mated?
I think white does not get mated. So king
Yeah.
d7, rook c7, king e6.
Oh, he just gets the rooks off the board, heads for a draw.
So
Hikaru knows he can draw now.
what if Hikaru somehow won this game because he's got
I wouldn't be surprised.
bishop c5, and
Everything's falling apart.
yeah, knight.
This is why you play bad openings. That's why you play the Blumenfeld, Hikaru. Because you can, if you want, you can also play the Blumenfeld in chat. You may get a lost position and swindle your way to a draw too.
This is ridiculous. Like
Dobrov is fighting for the draw now.
yes,
Running back, hopefully,
hopefully
hopefully, a new word. Hopefully, the act of hoping.
a3.
No, king d3, and we should lose everything now. Draw?
He's gonna play on.
Nietzsche?
Yep.
Hikaru's going to play on?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Look at him. Look at him just doing the Hikaru thing. Doing the Hikaru thing. Taking some water. I got all day. 45 seconds.
He might enter the chat at some point.
Yeah, like, hey, everybody. How's it going, chat? What kind of dumb bleep is Danny saying now?
Yep.
Well, if you're just getting here, let's remind everybody we got a very busy week of the Speed Chess Championship. A full schedule, full slate ahead. Obviously, Hikaru Nakamura throwing down right now in case you just somehow got lost and didn't know where you were on the internet. That's what you're watching. But we've got Mamadjara versus So. As Wesley said, how did I get Shock in the first round? I think we're in for a dogfight tomorrow. Can't wait. And then October 3rd, it's a doubleheader worthy of extra inning baseball, Robert's favorite sport.
There's some great Schnebler says
Schnebler?
Hikaru loading his Dvoretsky PDF. It's a great chess joke.
Yeah, even the table base and Dvoretsky PDF tell you this one's a draw. So this is just a game of tickle. Dobrov knows that he wants to get bullet because that's where Hikaru is even better than in Blitz, if that's a thing. To beat Hikaru Nakamura, you have to play better and faster.
That's pretty tough to do.
Pretty tough to do.
Because you usually do one or the other, not both.
But we've got a very, very we've had a lot of fun here. Still plenty of chess ahead. So who knows what we're in for in Bullet? Don't go anywhere. Will we get a 10 in a row? A lot of people hoping to see that in Bullet, where Hikaru Nakamura does crazy things. So the bad openings continue for Nakamura here. But unfortunately for Dobrov, it hasn't made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of stuff is trying to capitalize on the fact that Black's king is in the center, the bishop on f8 has nowhere to go for the time being. And so, of course, Black's pawn structure looks great. You have 6 pawns from the D to H file, but White is much more developed, and there's some back rank issues that if you're not figuring them out yet, and now you've passed A and B pawns. So A4, A5, B4, things like this. Oh.
No, but it's good for Black.
This is good for Black?
If you can get the king out of the center.
Well, queen c8 followed by bishop b4. It doesn't look like your king's...
Good point. I'm not getting my king out of the center.
What about rook takes b2 and after rook 8 taking on a8? What do you think about that? How do you like them apples? Oh, he didn't like them apples. He said, let me trade. Because, wait. No, queen
If he gets the queens off, he's okay.
But queen b8.
Queen b8, and I got nothing.
Because queen b6, I'll take you on b6, go rook a8 check, and put my bishop on. Actually, maybe you'll get out of this somehow. I thought I was just going to squeeze you, but you'll go f6, king f7 kind of stuff, and I don't know. Still think white is much, much, much better, but there's some chances. There's queen b8. Yep. And
Yeah, this is super tough. Dobrov is. I thought this was good. What happened?
play f6, I guess. He can play f6 here.
After a6 takes, there's no lines here where black can just gobble the pawn. I guess it's always dangerous, but
yeah, super risky.
Felt like this is not the best line for a close Sicilian for white. Or sorry, Rossalimo turned weirdness, kind of close Sicilian structure. But okay, yeah. I mean, to Hikaru's credit here, it's become quite the mess, and f6 is going to run the king out. Hikaru gives a face that he's not an approving of Dobrov's idea there.
Yeah, I mean, interesting, right? Now king f7, rook e8, then you get your bishop out. Black is up a pawn. And even if you lose the d4 pawn, that's not the most critical pawn in the position for black.
Yeah, good point.
These b and d pawns, so if the queens were traded, those would be isolated pawns that you could try to really take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
And this b pawn is a pass pawn technically, but it's very far away. It's a rook e8 here.
Yeah, rook e8, defend the rook. Now you can move the bishop.
Rook e8.
Not anymore. Right. Now there's crazy ideas like e5 to cut off the bishop so queen c1 threatens a draw.
Oh, actually e5 looks pretty good. You can even go king e6 ideas or rook e6.
Oh, yeah. Actually, if queen b3 check, you would have had rook e6. No, but this is not a bad idea either. Getting the queens off the board. Who's better here? I mean, I guess
bishop d8, right? You have to.
Yeah, you're going to try to come to e7, and he's going to lose his blockade.
He thought he had rook a7, I think, but there's e5.
Yeah, that's what he's missing. Here comes e5, and if you take, you win a piece. Hikaru shakes his head there.
Yep.
Now,
it's not the shake and bake you like to see.
Not the shake and bake Hikaru is accustomed to giving us when he's happy.
And here
that
comes
was more of the shake and fake, or is that a Westbrook move? Shake and fake. I don't know. I haven't officially cataloged all of the names with like giving Hikaru's faces names, only numbers.
I think that's good enough.
Numbers are good.
Yeah, it's, like we were talking about last night, like symphonies. It's like number 7.
Numbers, because it always makes you wonder why that number.
What number is it right now?
Okay, this is just default Hikaru. This is just fully focused and nothing, no messages being sent here. Just trying to play chess.
Okay, so I'll ask you again soon when I see a different face.
No, we'll get to it.
Oh, that one, the eye roll. I
missed it.
Oh,
I mean, no. Hikaru number 7 is a genuinely frustrated nod. There's the eye roll of looking up because I'm 13 moves deeper than you, and then there's the eye roll of what did I do? Right, totally different eye rolls. All right, but he may end up getting a draw here.
He's gonna have to grovel for this because black's up a pawn.
This is your chance if you're Dobrov. You've got to push these kind of games. Bring the king back to e6, threaten rook b7. This is what you got to do.
And I don't really know why. He could have brought his king forward instead of the way he did it this way. But he's gonna go rook b7, try to hit the pawn. If you go rook b5, saying I'm not gonna let you get to my pawn, there'd be rook a7. The rook would infiltrate. So he's doing it this way, and now rook b7.
Yeah. Now this move is gonna. Oh, go for it, because you can take and then get the king in front.
Yep.
Just in time.
Rook c2, rook c3.
Oh, owie. That's going to be a victory for Dobrov here. In fact, Hikaru is so frustrated he just
resigned. Throws
in the towel on that one.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty sure he wasn't whispering sweet nothings there. There might have been an explicitive there, but Dobrov doing Hikaru Nakamura impression. Checking out. That was the opening theory checkup. That's Hikaru number 3. Opening theory. There you go.
It's like, what's this Elyokin?
Yeah. Elyokin. Hikaru actually really likes this opening for Black and Blitz. Regularly plays it on Chess.com. So there you go. Wow. Well, interesting stuff here. We still have plenty of chess ahead.
Yep.
60 minutes roughly total right now, with 25 minutes and 3 minute, and then 30 minutes of bullet. Lots to come, so don't go anywhere. We're having a lot of fun.
Do you like Shadok's comment there?
Robert's green screen is much better than before. It looks like through the power of technology, we actually have a hologram. Right? I feel like Kylo Ren. Like we're reaching through the void.
Ooh.
What's the other girl's name? Rey. You can be Rey to my Kylo Ren. I would be the bad guy.
Can Ray Robson be the Ray to your Kylo Ren?
That's right. Yeah. Ray Robson, probably over there just spending lots of time playing puzzle battles, making good life decisions. Not that I shouldn't promote people using our premium features, but Ray, we need to have a talk. I mean, you have spent so much time solving puzzles.
He loves it.
It's amazing, but it's just I go in there and I worry about him. Am I gonna call his dad? Like, hey Gary, like what's going on? When does Danny's book on Hikaru's faces come out? Asked Steffi94. Soon as I retire, which may be sooner than you think. Who knows? You never know. We've got lots of books ahead to write, including the tell-all, cheaters confess on Chess.com, the Hikaru Nakamura faces. Things behind the scenes with Robert.
That's the book that I'm going to write.
Yeah, exactly. What it was like to deal with Danny. We hired an HR department to deal with that. So, all right. Interesting stuff. Dobrov did just get a big win there, only down by 5. And actually in control of this one, too.
Yeah, no, he's looking to be in good shape here. And right now he has the queenside pressure. He's got
if
to
you can
2 on
corral
1.
the A-pawn, that's 2 passers.
Yeah, maybe, and he can even consider pushing it. Ooh, bishop d6 coming. Incoming. Exchange win. So Hikaru's moving his
the threat
queen
was
around.
bishop d6, trapping the rook. How did Hikaru get this one? Let's back this thing up while they think about the live position, just so we know. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was an Al-Yekins.
That's so up for debate.
It's Al-Yohan.
Al-Yekin or Al-Yokin?
Al-Yohan is like the Russian. Al-Yekin is...
It depends if there's... I need to see the Cyrillic.
I've had this conversation so many times. Okay, anyway, but this opening is designed to get black dubious positions, and that's kind of what happened to Hikaru. So, this is just a good queenside advantage. Lots of pressure. 2 better than 1. In fact, Dobrov just wins this pawn. Comes all the way back to h2 because the queen is doing the job of guarding d4. Okay, Hikaru's going to mix this one up, and we've already seen him pull a few rabbits out of the hat today. So,
nice. Queen d7 is a good move.
This could be 2 games in a row for Dobrov if Hikaru's not careful, right?
Yeah, with the exchange of queens on the table here, the d5 pawn is weak. The b and a pawns are just rushing down the board.
Yep.
So this looks like the b4, b5, b6. I think you know where I'm going after that.
You're going all the way. All the way. Right?
Well, he's going to try to go rook b8, I guess. So a4.
Well, if rook b8 right away.
Actually, watch out for bishop h6.
That would be a problem. So he's going to go corral Daryl.
But now rook c8. Yep, good move.
You can take, though, and play knight f1. Bishop takes on b2, I get d5.
Yeah, but it somehow seems a lot better for black than
okay, but he's going to go for it. I mean,
I
agree. I mean, Hikaru has improved his drawing chances, but okay, this is a great move. Yeah, you don't want to settle on knight f1. You'd rather play the position.
Yeah, but the rook b3.
Hikaru's getting counterplay.
So bishop f4 here is a way to protect d2 and also threaten some bishop h6 ideas.
I like that idea, right?
He says, well, what do you know?
I know nothing. That's the first step of knowing. I know nothing. In my case, it didn't work out. I didn't learn anything on the other side of saying
not to get
nothing.
too philosophical, but isn't knowing nothing technically knowing something? Is nothing something?
Existentialism.
Dobrov is not happy right now.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. He blew it.
Yeah.
F2's under pressure. He's down almost a minute on the clock. And now the d-pawn?
How did this happen?
I don't know. It was just a bad position for black, but I feel like he does that to us a lot. How did Levi Rosman get his face on a mug that I drink out of regularly? I don't know. Things happen.
We all make mistakes. It was Wingardium Levi Rosman.
Wingardium Levi Rosman. Okay, well,
rook takes d5.
Should be a peaceful result, but black has a little bit of irritating pressure here. Okay, now king f1 if you want to get the rook.
G3 pawn's lost.
Yeah, actually. Okay.
So how to win this game? Because of course, bishop f4 now to win the g5 pawn.
G5 pawn. Okay, you got to play rook d7 with tempo.
Yep.
And after king moves h4. You got a guard. Yep.
But now that pawn's cemented
Yep.
on a dark
And as
square.
soon as you have all the pawns
rook
on
F2.
dark squares, rook F2 is game over.
Oh gosh, can't move.
Okay, rook D3.
No, but just you're out of
the
moves.
king's coming to F5. Dobrov is frozen.
Should you let it go?
I saw the trailer for Frozen 2 coming out.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm upset about that.
It looks. I don't
Wait.
know.
There's a cool draw here.
Okay, show me.
So you're gonna eventually go bring your king to E4. It's not gonna happen. But let's
Right.
see. Like, can we get an analysis board up?
Oh
so we
yeah,
can,
yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I already know it. I'm gonna show it. Check. Let's just get the king there because I'll walk him into the stalemate.
Yeah.
Stalemate.
Yeah.
So the draw is you give up the knight, but you sacrifice for stalemate.
But here, of course, Hikaru went king E3, which is very smart.
Right.
As
Doesn't
that,
allow it, and Dobrov just resigns. Oh man, that one hurts.
Yeah.
That one hurts.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah,
Can I give you a nice pun?
I'd love it.
Frozen 2, Snokio Drift. 'Cause of snow. Should I play the cricket sound?
For your own joke. It would have worked. It would have worked, but let me tell you, Tokyo Drift is the one Fast and the Furious that we all wish we could forget. It's the mistake. You know, it's the mistake. I mean, everyone has. I have 4 kids. I won't say which one, right? But there's a mistake everywhere. Okay, I mean,
None of your kids are mistakes. Don't do that.
Yep.
Don't
I didn't say I don't. I didn't say I have a favorite. They're all the same. But every once in a while, there's one kid that was unplanned.
I'm not getting involved.
Tokyo Drift was the unplanned kid of the Fast and Furious franchise. Is this okay? Can I talk about this? Okay.
This is a
moving on.
conversation you need to have with your wife. On that.
Okay. Welcome to Chess.com, everyone, where the professional shows and coverage of the world's biggest events that happen online right here. Twitch.tv/chess. Hit the follow button. Go to Chess.com TV for the full schedule. Grandmaster Robert Hess
Here all week.
here all week, hanging out with the fam. We've got a whole lot of events coming up, including the Fisher Random World Chess Championship quarterfinal this weekend. It's going to be awesome. There are 8 of the world's best players throwing down in it, including one of them that's playing today, Hikaru Nakamura. So this is you need to mark your calendars. Of course, after that, the Isle of Man, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, lots of controversy on Ishigiri dropping out. We're going to talk about that at some point. MVL not happy. Interesting stuff. And then the Fisher Random World Chess Championship final will be in Norway. I'll be there in Oslo, and it's going to be fun. So, thank you. All right, and what do we got here?
Some kind of H takes G5 madness.
With Tempe? Oh, he takes the knight. Oh, because the knight on E8's trapped.
Wow,
I like it.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
What about? Nope. I got nothing. I would say, bishop A4 protects, but then you just go B5.
Yeah, it's nothing, actually. Very nicely played there by Dobrov. And now, again, if he wins this game, he almost could have won 3 in a row at this point. And obviously, we know Hikaru is the scoreboard, right, up 6 games. But he's played well today.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like he's played well. He's been in a lot of games and pressuring and, been swindled under time pressure. But, he's done okay.
It's had a very respectable showing.
Yep. Bishop E4 maybe saves everybody. Kind of.
Yeah, but you can
Almost.
just take on G. Wait, what is Black has 2 minor pieces right now?
Yeah, but White has 2 rooks.
Right. So bishop E4, that looks pretty good. I agree with you. Because you can't move the knight without giving up the bishop on F3. So bishop E4, is there something that White can do as a response? H takes G5, bishop takes C2, looks...
Yeah, and then you're going to get H6.
Yeah, then bishop G6 and just
Right,
say...
you got 2 pieces for the rook, but okay, Hikaru's got the potential of a lot of open files, right? Pick your flavor of squares, and probably White should be fine.
Queen F5 here, just keep the initiative going.
Yeah, don't settle on the pawn. That's irrelevant. Or Queen B5.
Nice.
We'll take it, right?
Yeah, go for that B2 pawn. Very good move, actually.
Hit B2. You want to improve the knight, maybe. E4. Different things to try.
Would love to be able to play knight F4 here, but obviously I can't because you just take it. But somehow knight F4, 92 stuff would be great to have happen.
Yep.
Okay, so he took the pawn. So now it's a rook and 1 pawn for a knight and a bishop. So by material, it's interesting situation. By position, I like the minor pieces more than the rooks, but still a lot left to prove.
Okay, Queen E5, you want to get rid of these tactics. Oh, King G8 also does the trick in a way. but I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that White's going to lose this one at all.
Yeah, especially now that White has positioned his pieces so well.
Mm-hmm. Move the queen. If you can simplify, you still have a rook and a pawn for the two minors, so mathematically we are equal here. Okay, keeping the queens on the board. This is Black's best chance.
I mean, F2 is hanging.
Right? Rook F1.
I just want to be able to do something nasty. B6. Just play it safe. Then play knight C5, then play bishop D3. Just like, I feel like you can just somehow make progress here. Actually, there's a really nasty knight C5.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go queen takes A7, yep, I'm going to go knight D3, and my threat is queen takes F1 check.
Oh, he didn't go for it, but I'm going to show it. Knight D3, and if you take again, queen takes F1, puzzle rush.
Actually, that looked pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, in fact, how would he have dealt with knight D3 instead of taking?
I have no idea.
I think he just totally missed this. Because if you move the rook, F2 hangs.
Yep.
This is actually a really great find by Robert here, and this is instructive. That's why you learn your mating patterns, because that's...
You'd have to play G3, but after you play G3, your light squares, knight E5 comes. I mean, something like that.
95, cut in here. You can also back up the lady and head to G4.
Yeah, it's...
So, yeah, interesting stuff. Now, Dobrov probably shouldn't lose this one, even with that being said, but that might have been his only chance to win.
But we have said that before.
That's true. That's true. Many people have said. Famous last words against Hikaru.
Okay, the rooks are not coordinated well. That's what you need when you have two rooks against minor pieces, to be able to coordinate them. But right now, those rooks are not each other's friends.
Got to be careful, right? The rook ever leaves the back rank, rook E1, so Vlad is taking advantage of that. Is he going to tickle this one out?
Why is he going bishop C2 and not, say, bishop... And is Hikaru playing for a win here?
It's hard. Wow, that's a bit shocking, right?
I mean, he could have just finished off the repetition.
He kind of knows that he's Hikaru.
But he also knows that
he can play for a win.
Objectively, his position is...
Diamond member JF Boyer 527 says, yeah, time pressure. So maybe he's playing for time pressure for Dobrov. Nikolaj. Ooh, knight D3.
Here it comes.
The rook has to back up. Knight takes F2. If you take, there's rook E1.
Yep. But this feels... Oh, you can't go queen C5 with knight H3 check. So you have to figure out where your queen can go. It's like a line and hit this knight.
Yeah, because the queen is guarding the third rank right now.
Yeah. But rook B2, for example... Oh, actually, rook B2 is pretty interesting.
Rook B2 may end up being the move.
But then rook E2. Oh, it's just like a...
This is such a mess. Okay, queen C3 also allows rook E2, but no, and there's no rook B8 because the queen can take.
Yes.
So you can play rook E2. Oh, he didn't see it.
Knight D1.
What? Oh, queen C2, he has queen F1.
Oh,
and
that's...
then knight E3, forky mode. Get your forks out. Don't hurt anybody.
That was filthy.
He gets out barely. He's going to play bishop D3, but okay, only 8 seconds. Still probably best play is a draw for this position, but...
Oh, he hung a bishop!
Oh, my God! And he laughs. He smiles. He smiles.
Where's the hammer?
You know, remember when Jeffrey Jean gave us the lesson that if you smile when bad things happen, it doesn't feel as bad.
Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't tested it, but that's kind of how it seemed right there.
It feels psychologically sound, though.
Yeah, that was an owie. Owie. Hey, Siri. When you smile, does that make you feel better?
I don't hear anything.
Siri, does smiling make you feel better?
I'm not sure I understand.
Get out of here, then.
What accent is that?
Australian.
Of course you have
I like
that.
to rotate accents because it keeps
Does
me...
Penny know about that?
I'm working on the Isle of Man.
Does Penny know about that?
Yeah, of course he knows.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I tried to get Penny's voice.
You're like, I'll give you a raise if I can have you.
You make your voice available on the iPhone for me. For those of you who don't know, our director of media production, Mr. Pennywork, thank you for all that you do. Anyway.
Pennyway?
Pennyway. Doesn't it feel good to pay less?
This is a big blunder by Dobrov. So he's losing exchange.
Yep. And bump, bump, bump. Another one bites the dust.
Bump, bump.
And another. Guess the movers didn't even have time for that one. No time to guess the move. But previously, we had someone getting 12 out of 38. Not too bad, I guess. I mean, you know.
You just hit me with some.
At least we didn't call him Pennywise.
Oh.
That'd be bad.
Have you seen it too?
Of course not.
Oh, okay. You don't like horror movies?
I care about my emotional well-being.
Okay, me too, which is why I watched it.
I can't. When you have kids, you can't watch movies where kids die.
Okay, firstly, spoilers.
We can't. You can't.
No, but you can't ruin movies for it.
Everyone knows that. It has been around forever.
I mean, you don't know what people know.
Yeah.
Also,
it literally slowed down my wife and I watching Stranger Things. Like, we couldn't emotionally take it.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Focus. Okay. This is what happens in like a blowout in baseball. The commentators just start talking about stuff. And
Yeah.
right now we've got a 8-game lead for Hikaru Nakamura. And still 9,000 people who I think are sticking around to see if he can make it 10 in a row. Get those carts out. Get those chess bra emotes out, right?
How many consecutive wins is it? Like 3 at this point?
I don't even know. Not many. Yeah, I mean, Dobrov just won one a few minutes ago.
But there's some problems on the E file here. Oh,
yeah. Also the H file. Okay.
Not anymore.
D2's falling, though.
Oh.
Some positions.
But the rook on H5's hanging.
That's a problem. That's what happens when you bring the rook too far out. You might even want to back that thing up right now.
He saw that so quickly. After queen F4, like the trade hits the rook on H5, B2's not hanging because of all this.
That's what he does. That's Hikaru.
Yeah. And Dobrov listened to you.
Yeah,
and it's a good
the best
thing.
thing to do. Back it up.
It's a good thing. And
okay, but now you've got the 2 knights solidly. The back rank is your only problem. If you can fix it, protect it, this is going to be a better endgame for white.
Hikaru just shook his head. He missed something.
Maybe there was a trick. Was there rook takes E2? What?
Huh? Oh, no.
Was there?
No.
Okay. If you take here, there's some craziness.
Right.
But you can just take with the knight.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what he was shaking his head about then. I'm just trying to translate Hikaru.
You usually know how to
I usually know.
I'm
I usually know.
disappointed
Well,
in
now
you.
that I've solved that it wasn't chess,
I'm disappointed.
I don't know what it is. So, Queen H6, hitting the undefended rook on D2. Dobrov looking for a big victory here. That's a nice move. It also prepares to bring the rook back.
And Hikaru keeps bringing this queen to F4.
He wants the ladies off the board. Can you say G5?
It makes G5. It makes perfect sense to trade queens when you have the knight against the bishop, right? Ideally, white trades the knights on E2 and E3 for each other, and then plays this knight against the bishop. But you've said this many times. It's always a good point that the knight on D4 looks great. It's just like on a square that is
Visually
uncontested.
it's pretty.
But what is it really doing?
Right.
So.
Yeah. The issue is it might still be a better endgame for white if all the majors came off, just because, although maybe not, actually. I guess the C4 pawn holds back B2, right? There's ideas like knight D1.
He's actually probably thinking about some kind of queen F4, knight D5 stuff, like, can I go for the back rank mate?
Decides to keep the ladies on the board. And the biggest issue overall is making those types of moves, even if it proves to just, it doesn't lose a piece. He has rook E1 in the end. Oh, Hikaru just looked up.
He's
like,
talking to himself. He's talking to himself.
Why did I do that?
I was thinking knight D5 was coming. Yikes.
Knight D5. Yeah.
Dobrov with some good tactical
That's
vision today.
Swindle.
So if you're Hikaru, do you just spend the rest of this time, play one more game?
Oh, no, he just resigns.
Yep.
Wow, just a one-move blunder. Dobrov is that was like a, strong like bull face. He went.
He should have brought the hammer out for that one.
I've seen that face.
What? Do you see what Hikaru just did? Look at the opening.
Strong.
No, look at the opening.
Went Bomb Cloud?
Yeah.
Hikaru played the Bomb Cloud. He's gone early with it, getting it out of the way off his to-do list. In case it's a close match in Bullet and his fans want him to play the Bomb Cloud, he's already done it.
Yeah.
Priorities. Right? Keeping the fans happy. You can follow Hikaru Nakamura at his channel, twitch.tv/GM Hikaru.
Yep.
Give him a follow. I don't know what Vlad Dobrov. Is it just Vlad Dobrov? Should I just say that? What is Vlad Dobrov's?
I don't know. Somebody must know.
Anyway, he's on Twitch. Okay. And Hikaru might just get hammered this one. Dobrov wants to beat him so bad with the Bomb Cloud.
Yep.
He'll go like full godfather.
Oh,
disrespect.
Is
me,
it
you come in.
Tortuga chess?
Not once. You play the Bomb Cloud on my daughter's wedding.
What was that?
But not once have you asked, come here for coffee or tea. It's the Godfather.
That's what I thought, but it didn't really.
The new team from Italy in the Pro Chess League has asked if they can have their name be the Italian Godfathers.
And what'd you say?
I don't think we can.
Why not?
Because, first of all, is it like copyrighted or something like that?
The word Godfather?
Probably not.
No.
Oh, obviously not. Yeah, duh. Okay.
No.
But, I mean, maybe we can go. Yeah, why not? We should let them do it. The Godfathers versus the Sopranos would be quite the
that
thrill.
would be pretty epic.
All right, well, Hikaru has 2 pieces for the rook. And
He's just searching around the room. His eyes were just like, what to do now?
Yep. You can follow the games live. As said right there, there's a link, and you can play Guess the Move. A lot of people doing it on Chess.com. That queen might be running out of squares here soon, but...
Take on C2. Get greedy.
I want it. I want the pawn.
Wait. Black has two minor pieces for a rook.
Yeah.
I thought it was just an exchange. Then Black's just crushing. This whole time I was under the impression that it was...
No, Hikaru's doing great here.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking that it was just 1 piece for the rook.
No, it's just 2 pieces. He just won with the Bond Cloud like it was nothing. In 3 minutes.
I don't even know what to say anymore. So you don't either. That's why you took a little swig there.
It's water.
You say that so defensively.
This has not been the best opening for Black. Although the con stuff reminds me, I feel like when I played Dobrov in Russia, it was a con. I feel like he's been playing the con for a long time.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him about it.
I'll ask him if he remembers the game afterwards. Stick around. So if you were wondering for reasons to stick around, you're going to hear the story of 15-year-old Danny Rensch. He was a young American. Wild in Russia for a whole summer. Played in a tournament against Vlad Dobrov. As he got his last GM norm, I got my first IM norm. Together, we made history. Find out what happened in that game in the interviews afterwards, and we'll see if Dobrov remembers what he did to me. Something he can never take back.
Did it did involve the hammer that he...
Let's just say I just left everybody with a ton of teasers.
You did.
And every one of them is going to be delivered. This isn't lost. Like, what happened with the polar bear? Why was there a polar bear on the island? Right? I'm not losting you right now. I will answer every question I just dropped. Take that, J.J. Abrams. Knight f4.
You were very invested in that one.
Great move. I put a lot of time into Lost.
I put 0 time into it. No time lost for me, get it?
That was a dad pun.
Yeah, well, who am I sitting next to?
That was the worst.
I'm sitting next to the godfather of dad puns.
That's right. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the tension here. If the bishops are traded, the b6 pawn is weak. So black doesn't want to trade, because then b6 is a problem. White doesn't ever want to trade, because the d file opens up, the d4 square is available, and the dark squares end up being things you wish were safer. So this is a classic example where a lot of lower-rated players would just not be able to build on the tension, but watch how these players do it, right? They were both trying to force the other to blink. One way that White could do that if he had a ton of time, right, Robert, would be like a3, move the knight, and b4, right? Yep. But it's hard to do that.
Yeah, and one of the you made a great point that if there's an exchange on c5, that gives black firm control of the dark squares. But alternatively, if there's an exchange on e3, the b6 pawn, which is no longer there, would have been an issue. So he instead plays for b5 quickly, saying knight a takes c5. I've moved d takes c5, and your queen on d2 is under attack.
Right.
And
the tempo, putting the knight in. Okay, but look how he's also just kind of laughed in the face of danger over here. The knight hanging on f4. I love it.
He said Danger's his middle name. You know who else's middle name is Danger? No?
Austin Powers?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
I was
cool.
so worried for a second.
Of course. I mean, it was such an obvious pop culture.
Yeah, but you scared me. You went silent on me for a second.
I don't know. I was looking at Diamond member Ross FA in the Chess TV chat who answered. He said the Dharma Initiative was known for adapting polar bears. So maybe that was part. Get back to you on that.
So 95's coming.
Yeah, 95 tempo on the bishop. I mean, again, like the con has I don't like it for black, but he's played it aggressively.
Yeah.
Today.
He keeps trying with it, but it doesn't seem to be working out very well.
Mhm.
Now f6 for like queen h6 would have.
How?
He resigned because the c5 was hanging. It's pinned.
And he's just down pawn? That's
Yeah, and the dark squares are just.
So the f4 knight bluff just didn't pay off, huh? He was like kind of left it there a move too long. G6 allowed him to take instead of moving the knight. I mean, anything would have been better than losing the piece for free
I feel like that knight got trapped there at least 3 times today.
in today's match.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can make it a baker's dozen, huh, Bob? Before for those knights that getting trapped.
Bagels.
That's right. Bagels, baker's dozen, bears, Didka, bears, bagels, bears. We'll be right back.
A premium membership at Chess.com will help you improve your game with full access to a powerful set of learning tools. Unlimited tactics let you practice like a master, with more than 50,000 puzzles to challenge you at every level. Our library of interactive chess lessons, created by master coaches, will enhance every aspect of your game. And after each game you play, the computer analysis feature will give you feedback on every move you played, turning every game into a chance to learn. And that's not all. Premium benefits also include unlimited tournaments, video lessons, the Opening Explorer, and much, much more. Upgrade now to take your game to the next level.
Will the light
Let's go down the city.
come on for Dobrov in the bullet portion? This is a Chess.com nightlight that a friend made for me.
How come I don't have one?
Because you don't have friends like I do.
Okay.
Will the light come on for Dobrov? As Grandmaster Wesley So just said in Chess.com's chat, he just has to go 10-0 and bullet. Not that hard.
I'm a little hurt by what just happened, but you're absolutely right that Dobrov needs to go on an absolute tear against, only
You
the
want me to
best
make
bullet.
you one of those?
No, it's too late.
Whatever.
I think it's really cool, though. I feel like you're the Joker from the 90s Batman. You're the Jim Carrey Joker. The Riddler, excuse
the
me.
Riddler.
Sorry. I made a mistake.
Jack Nicholson.
You know what I
That's
meant.
the only-
I made a mistake.
All right, we got the bracket here. Hikaru Nakamura facing off against Vladimir Dobrov. If you're just getting here, thanks for being here. Don't go anywhere. We have the full bullet portion up ahead. Going to be exciting stuff. As Grandmaster Wesley So did just say, that wasn't made up on Chess.com. You can hang out with Grandmasters over in the Chess.com game chat. He says Dobrov just needs to go 10-0.
No big deal.
So let's see if he can do it. And both players are back. They are sitting. They are ready. Let's remind everybody that right after this match and our interviews, of course, the Title Tuesday will begin. Chess.com's monthly event for $1,500 in cash prizes. We get a lot of very, very strong players. I don't know if Hikaru's playing or if Dobrov's playing, but there's going to be a lot of strong players. So right after this, International Master Levi Rosman will be hosting Title Tuesday. So with that, I think Bullet is about to begin. No further ado. And here we go.
All right, and we're off. Vlad gets the white pieces in the first game, and he's playing quickly. It's a good start.
It's a good start. You got to play quickly in Bullet. I see someone just talking about the Duda Nakamura match that we're headed for at some point in the bracket. That could be amazing. I agree.
That will be amazing.
All right, we've got a Rogozin kind of obscure variation here, Cambridge Springs-esque.
Yep. And generally, White's happy with the pawn structure. The pawn on b2 that's now on c3, strong center. But you're also behind in some development. And your king's in the center, so now e takes d4.
No, but okay, with the queens coming off, then the center is not as effective. You have to be careful about it becoming a target on the d file. Here comes the a pawn under fire. Can't take it yet. That would lose a piece. But all right, this is playable for both sides. I just think that the long-term endgames often favor black in these structures because you have this queenside majority, right?
And knight c3 now. Like there are some tactical ideas as well. Oh, now knight takes d3, bishop c4 is coming.
Yeah, Hikaru no likey.
No, Hikaru likes because he's black.
I've just been told that Hikaru, we believe, is going to be playing in Title Tuesday. Maybe even streaming to his channel. Don't know that. You can go to twitch.tv/GM Hikaru. So if you need more Hikaru, it looks like he's got his head bobbing going, music a rolling. So Hikaru might be in a good mood after this match.
Yep.
That's a win right there. He now has a 10-game lead and getting closer and closer to our match prediction. This is what Hikaru Nakamura does, right? This is why. I mean, if we want to bring up the score progression and the odds to win the match as far as why we see the heads heading the directions that they do, Hikaru Nakamura is used to being on top of other small, tiny heads.
Well, you do have the Hikaru fat head somewhere here. Your tiny head relative to the big head.
Yep.
Aren't you
It's
just
a happy Hikaru today. Yep, like this.
just waiting for that moment?
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Hikaru, how's it
Are
going?
you going to play Title Tuesday with me?
No, I probably won't.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, I'll be streaming at my channel.
Okay, well, how about little baby Hikaru, too?
Little baby Hikaru?
No, you don't know what's going on because you're not looking.
Oh, now I'm unhappy that you're not playing. Why aren't you playing?
Well, you're making me sit through some meetings, so it's not really my fault.
That's right. We got some Fisher Random planning meetings after this. You got work to do.
That is a very unhappy Hikaru face.
Okay. Good talk, everybody.
So, I can't go back to chess after that. How much? How much to talk about this position where Hikaru is now even in material?
Yeah. F5.
What?
Nice. I mean, he's going to take H5.
Oh, because if you took with the pawn, there's E6, Queen E5 check.
Oh, that was nasty. Just show it quickly. Boom, zoom. That's a hanging rook. And Hikaru doesn't want even the H5 pawn. He wants to force this tactic to happen.
Yep.
Dobrov under time pressure. Finds bishop b5. Look at Hikaru's clock.
This looks pretty good.
Pretty good. Right?
Rook H7. Just be defensive.
C4. Nice move. Splits the board. Keeps the queen out of the king side. And that's going to hurt. Okay. Dobrov's still trying to bring the queen back.
Hikaru did a little bit of a head shake there.
Yeah.
Something bothered him. I guess the fact that he can't get to the F7 pawn because the queen on D2 saves the F4 square. And rook takes
watch out. Watch out for bishop F4 and bishop H6 and then rook F7. Okay, I thought he had a different mating than I did in mine. Okay, now he's freed the G3 square for a check, followed by infiltration.
F5 is almost always a really awesome defensive move.
Yeah. Not like F6. F5.
Yeah, queen H5 check.
Right.
Uh-oh. Down goes the queen on D1. Rook G3. Queen takes D1.
Owie. Owie.
That hurts.
Dobrov not happy.
No,
I don't have a fat head of him just hanging out in the office. So I
should have
can't.
gotten one with a hammer.
With a hammer.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make an emote.
And Hikaru's just casually 32.55 in bullet.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal. But anyway, it's been a great match. Honestly, it's been a showing we kind of expect. It's Hikaru Nakamura doing what he does.
Yep.
We'll see if he can roll this momentum into a Title Tuesday victory. Right after this, as we said, if you're just joining us, Levy Rosman will be hosting commentary for the Title Tuesday to go down. And anyway, it gets tough. It gets tough in these positions, right? I mean, at this point, we're hoping for some exciting action.
Wow, his best bullet rating was 33.57. That's just absolutely out of this world.
Yeah.
33.57. That's over 100 points higher than he is right now.
Right.
Man, he's just working it with a black piece in this game, too. Like, look at that knight on A2. That knight is not happy to be there. That knight wants to be on C4, and even then I'm not sure that white would be
okay.
all right there.
Not a happy camper.
Has anyone ever gone undefeated in a portion of SCC?
Yes. For sure. I don't know the stats. If are draws held against undefeated? Meaning, okay, two questions. Undefeated is not losing. Perfect is only wins.
I assumed the question meant perfect, but undefeated definitely has happened.
Undefeated has for sure happened in portions. Whether someone has ever been perfect, we'd have to look into that. Only victories in a given portion, I don't know.
Yeah, Nepo versus Danielian is likely.
Possibly. Yep.
All right. So in this one, still no minor piece trades. And all right, so can you get the D4 square now? Yeah, just take and plug. I guess if you take on F2 first, the E5 pawn was hanging, so he does this. Yeah, this is looking pretty promising for Hikaru. It's just too good.
Yeah. A4 is falling.
Yeah, knight C4 to E3 is
even this. Take your time. Can't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, but there's going to be queen D8, queen F6.
Oh, very nice. Little perpetual check, right?
Okay, so
queen A4, picks up the pawn, tries to bring the knight into C3. He'll play bishop C5 now.
Yeah, you can't stop knight C3.
You can't stop knight C3. The piece is going to fall. Yeah, here comes knight C3. Very difficult. Oh, taking his time. Look at that.
Yep, knight A3.
Gobbling the B pawn. That is technique right there.
And he doesn't have to move forever. He can just keep that situation.
There's no threat for the king.
Bishop
to get
G1.
In.
Oh, bishop G1 to H2.
Yeah, okay, wins the F pawn anyway. That was amazing technique. And again, if you look at the clock, finding those accurate moves without thinking about it, it's good to be king. That's what Hikaru would say. We got 8,500 of you sticking around, I assume, so that I can complete the story of what happened between Dobrov and Rensch in Russia. We're going to find out. Obviously, we'll interview both the players when this is done, talk to Hikaru, ask him who he thinks his biggest challenger in the bracket will be, and dive into anything else that comes our way. If you got any questions for the players, throw them at us. You've got a chat in front of you.
Yeah, we need to know what you want to know, and I'm sure for Hikaru, his next event is the Isle of Man coming up to see if he can try to qualify for the candidates. The winner of that tournament, just the winner, not 2 spots, just one, qualifies for the candidates. So of course Hikaru would love to win that, and he is an open tournament beast.
Yep.
Right. He's won Gibraltar 4 times, I want to say, and he just has been one to dominate open events.
He has a very enterprising style that creates the chance for decisive results, right?
Yeah.
And when you're a stronger player than a lot of your opponents, which in the open pairing system happens, right? You're playing down, those positions present you with the opportunity to outplay people. So, I think that's why he's had historically such good results. He also raised in the American circuit, right? Like me and you. So he
knows how to play a Swiss or two.
He knows how to play a Swiss or two.
Yeah,
what would Brian Boitano do? You know what he'd do?
Turn it off. Should I be talking while you're doing this? I feel like silence is required.
Perfect symmetry. I
don't know how to follow that up.
You don't need to. This looks like a game that will be hard to lose for black. So
hard to lose for black?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was for white.
I thought it was going to remain close, but it looks like Hikaru's working his way in with no diggity. Okay. Several ways to try and get in. He's calculating things on e6. There's also rook c5. There's also f4 and f5, and he goes for it. What's he see?
Queen
I thought rook
G6,
f7.
Yep.
g5. He wants it.
He's just saying, I'm going to sit on the position. King can't move to d7. The rook on f7 is hanging. Queen f8. There's rook e6 check. Followed by
King
queen
runs queen f. Oh, I thought queen f5, but now c6.
Rook e7 check. Oh, c6. Oh, everything's just.
He's got a lot of pawns for the rook.
So many.
He's got so many pawns.
How many?
Oh, f7, and he's got queen e8 coming.
So he's going to get rook d8 in.
You know what he's got? He's also got g6 coming.
How many pawns?
Oh, because you know what? He resigned.
You trade queens.
I'll show it on the analysis board real quick while the next game starts. If rook d8, the point is you trade and then g6, and you have 2 passers versus the rook, and there's no way to. That was freaking sick. That was nasty.
Why did it take you so long to say that?
I don't know.
It took you.
It was just nasty.
So long to get there. That was absolutely.
That was just awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's just so good, and that sack, I think looked pretty good anyway.
Yep.
But especially for a bullet game, just
that makes Artie Man and Chess Mindwise, who've been consistent guess the move players, feel pretty good about themselves. Get 4 out of 5. It's only 5 guesses, but you got 4 out of 5 for a victory by Hikaru Nakamura. Okay, so we have some answers. There were 2 segments in the history of the Speed Chess Championship that were perfect, meaning only victories, not even a draw. Hikaru Nakamura's 3-minute portion versus Ho Ifan was perfect, only victories for Hikaru. And then Nepomniachtchi's 5-minute portion and 1 minute versus Dan Yelyin.
Wow, I didn't remember the bullet as well, but
yeah,
dang,
yeah, that was a tough matchup.
Yeah,
so there you go. Those are the answers to those who've wondered. Title Tuesday is coming up right after this. If you're here wondering when it starts, it will begin right after this.
I see a question for Hikaru. What music is he listening to?
Okay, obviously. What? Of course. I mean, yes. As long as it's not the Baja Men, everyone are happy.
I would be happy with some Baja Men. I just want the answer to the question that everyone's been asking.
Would you please focus on the chess?
That's the question that everyone's been asking.
E2's checkmate. Oh, it's all happening so fast. Right?
Yeah.
It's like a Kenny Chesney song, Don't Blink. You just might miss checkmate on E2 like I just did.
Brutal.
Oh, man.
And the Hikaru Khan, it continues to play it.
Yep.
He's trying to work with it. And these kind of Hikaru Khan structures I play with white for many years. You have the 2 bishops, but look how solid Black's position is. Look at the triangle, b7 to d5 to f7. It means the light square bishop, well, okay, now it's no longer the triangle, but the bishop on g2 has a hard time breaking free.
Right.
And
Very solid for Black, but again, this is bullet. This is kingside attacks. h5's coming. Who knows? f5, h6. We should invent a new variant where at some point in the middle of a Hikaru game, I get to make 3 moves in a row. See how good he is then.
probably not that good when you just take his queen off the board.
No, like I would try to play good chess.
Right, when you get 3 moves right, the best thing to do is just checkmate or take the queen.
No, I mean I play for Hikaru. I
Oh,
get to choose
sorry.
3 of his moves.
I thought you were saying that when you were playing Hikaru.
Oh,
you
that's
get
a good idea too. Yeah. This is getting brutal.
Yeah, it's
Where are we at now in the 10-0 counter? We haven't had a draw in bullet, I don't think. Right?
no, it's 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah.
Okay, scoreboard's right in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay, paying attention
Just
now.
want to make sure you were paying attention.
Yep.
Actually, might be 6-0 with that game. Yep, 6-0. 6-0. Tough. Because Dobrov is really good.
Yep.
Like this guy plays in Arena Kings all the time. He's always one of the top finishers. He won the qualifier for this event, right?
Yep.
He didn't get invited. He qualified his way into this SEC, and well, he just happened to face a pretty tough opponent in Hikaru Nakamura.
Yep. 8 consecutive wins right now, but 10-0 in bullet would be required if we're looking for the official term of adoption. For those of you who don't speak Twitch chess pop culture, it's a term that's used to describe the process of winning 10 games in a row in a given time control. There is still a show coming called Adopt a Danny. We don't have an exact date yet because Maxime Vachier-Lagrave had a fantastic World Cup and is still playing. He's still playing in the consolation match, right, for 3rd and 4th place in Conti-Monsisk. So had to reschedule ourselves the premiere of Adopt a Danny, but that show will come. We'll get a lot of people on it. We'll give Hikaru a shot at some point. I'm sure he'll love it. There are cash prizes if they are able to win 10 in a row against me in a time control. It's going to be fun.
Cash prizes?
Cash prizes.
Oh man, I might have to start
Maybe
playing.
we'll give you a shot in that too.
I'd love that.
But yeah, no, you mentioned Dobrov. I mean, he's super strong. Obviously, this is a tough matchup. He knew it coming in, right? There are plenty of events where the guys can stream and play, and Dobrov has a channel. He often does it. Often they will stream and play for themselves while doing commentary in events like Arena Kings, Title Tuesday, Vlad Dobrov right there. Dobrov. Nikolaj. Hikaru shakes his head because he missed Queen D6 check, I think, but he's still on the grind here.
Yeah.
So
Right now, what? Oh, wait. Why didn't he take on C7 first? That was very confusing. Did you see that?
yeah, Dobrov looks like he's about to get a victory here.
But he could have been up a rook, and now he's up a pawn. And still going to win the game.
Oh yeah, we just up a rook. I mean, okay, still has rook e8 check
Yeah.
coming.
This also.
Oh, this wins. Force the knight back. Rook e8.
Queen
Hikaru wants the adoption though.
Queen-
Don't kid yourself. He may instead of even saving a draw, he's trying to win with knight c1 check.
Yeah, he never was gonna.
Okay, it's mate though. Queen e7. Okay. Well, Dobrov, he says no soup for you. No 9th victory in a row if you're counting the carryover from 3-minute. No 10-0 victory will happen here in bullet. I'm guessing 13 minutes is not enough time to rattle off 10 more wins. So with that, somebody just lost money in Vegas. Don't know who it was.
Wasn't me.
I don't believe in gambling, so unless it's on my own chess games. No, I'm kidding.
What? Did you see Dover just blunder a rook? Like a full rook. You missed it.
I didn't. I wasn't paying attention.
Life happens fast.
Better stop and look around every once in a while.
Yeah, you might miss it.
Yeah.
So right now, Hikaru up a rook in this game. G6 is hanging. After that, G7 is a mating attack. This is
Yeah, just resigned. I was going to say, I don't even know why he would play it on.
just to play. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Just to play
Hey,
down a
Grandmaster
rook.
2B. That was good. Whatchamacallit, guess the move performance.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe he will be a grandmaster someday.
Maybe he already is a grandmaster.
A secret account? I could look into his IP right now. Just kidding. We can't just do that for people. Grandmaster to be. Got 21 out of 33.
Solid. The silence is killing me. I need you to talk. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
You're gonna
Wow.
meet me.
Cannot believe I
meet
just
me.
said that. I need a break. I need a break.
Grandmaster to be. He's gonna meet me. 21 out of 33. Guess the move. That's strong.
I've seen worse.
I haven't guessed 21 out of 33 of my own moves.
But
Doesn't make any sense.
you are a superstar. A Hollywood treasure.
All right. Dobrov trying to hold the endgame. Should be a draw. No, shouldn't. Hikaru's going to get e5 and e4 and win.
Yep. Up a pawn. Now knight b4 if you take on a6. Maybe knight b4 even if you don't take on a6.
I'm surprised he went this way because now he's going to lose a6. I think just keeping the knight there and playing e5, e4 was actually better for Hikaru.
Yeah.
But okay. This will also work because now the knight will have plenty of time to outmaneuver the bishop with pawns on one side of the board. The knight is a much better minor piece than the bishop.
Yep. And there's just so many different options here. He's going to go
Yep.
h6, g5. Try to play for pawn
Okay,
g4, knight f3 ideas.
You were threatening to separate the pawns, so Dobrov trades, but here comes the knight to e5. You can... Okay, does that improve drawing chances? I guess it does. Get the rooks off the board.
Wow, do you see that stat? The record for most points in the 1 minute segment is 12.5. Carlsen versus So 2017.
Wow. So
That's
Magnus
ridiculous.
Carlsen owns the most points in a 1 minute segment record. What's Hikaru on pace to do right now? He's got 7. If someone can tell him of the record, maybe he'll go for it.
Well, let's see. It's 10 minutes left and not enough time.
Could be. There's been some quick victories in the match.
It's true.
He needs to just take the draw on this one, maybe, though.
Or maybe just take a bunch of quick draws.
That would be a way to work the system, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's kicked the king back. Now he'll get f4.
Or
e3.
at
some
some point
point.
e3. Yep.
Guard f5. Yeah, there's no way to make progress without a blunder from white.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be repeating a lot. Yeah, how could you possibly win this? I'll just keep playing. He'll go e3 at some point. But it's just the draw.
Yeah. 9.5 minutes left on the total clock. We'll be joined by these players. Ask, of course, the big questions, like what music is Hikaru listening to. Find out what happened between Danny and Dobrov. Nikolaj in Russia. 2002.
It's funny because I haven't seen anyone understand the Nikolaj reference. Nobody in chat is...
There were a couple earlier that got
they
it.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
I just missed it.
All I need is one person to laugh at my joke.
I thought all you need is love.
Nope. Just someone to laugh at my jokes.
Okay. Isn't that love?
Yeah. Oh, wow. He worked
Wait,
it.
did
Hikaru
F2
was going to
fall
win
in?
this game. Unbelievable.
Oh. No. Now there's 2 extra pawns. And there they go. That's
He had knight takes h1.
what happens when you pre-move. Also, look how much time Hikaru has. He's a minute and 16 seconds. Wait, is that a record for most amount of time?
I don't know. And I don't care.
Stop whispering to me. It's so creepy. You're right next to me. Talk to me like I'm here. Be present, Danny.
Grandmaster to be only threw down 4 guesses, but was 4 for 4. I'm going to find out who Grandmaster to be is.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. It's twist ending. It's Dobrov. Oh man, that's maybe why he's playing guess the move with his own move. So at least he's gonna win something today. It's easier to guess your own moves, you know, when you have a fake account. Oh man, that is funny. All right. Well, this is about to get surgical on the dark squares.
Yeah, and the light
This
squares.
This is gonna be painful.
G6, E6, D5's hanging. The king's still on E8. Look at those ugly double F pawns. Black's not even up a pawn for.
Yeah, there's no compensation, right?
Yikes.
It'll be great because of all the matches we're having. Let's remind everybody real quick of the schedule this week. This is going to be the biggest blowout, and so it's a good mood setter. Gets everyone relaxes a little bit, right? Let your hair down, get your hair did for the rest of the week because I think every single one of the matches coming up is going to be a lot closer than this. Starting with Mamedyarov and So, I legit have no idea who's going to win that. I'm going to pick Wesley based on SCC experience. Shock did not have a great performance last year against Anish Giri. Maybe that'll motivate him.
Yeah, and then this one, I know Levon versus Faruja. You said that Levon, in your eyes, is the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Smarter Chess agrees. And I would say that he's probably a slight favorite, but, I mean, Ali Reza is just so strong and just getting better. And, his bullet skills are...
I think if Ali Reza keeps that match within a couple games heading into Bullet, then that's his match to get. So, and then you've got the Russian on Russian action, Artemiev versus Grishuk. Going to be a blast for that one. I think that's going to be a very exciting match.
We just have 3 great matches ahead of us.
I can't wait. So much fun. Almost as much fun as Dobrov is having here in this match versus Hikaru right now.
That's the opposite of what you meant. Although I do want him to show us the hammer again, because that was awesome. And what's going on in this game? He is down 2 very passed pawns.
They are very passed, and they look good on the 6th rank, right?
Yeah.
Looking good there. Steffi94 in the Chess TV chat. More information coming out about the Pro Chess League this year. Been a lot going on with that. Working hard to do everything we can to make the best league possible for the future. So because of that, we haven't even wanted to announce the qualifier because rethinking some stuff has led us to rethink other things, right? So got to kind of start at the top. And so announcements will be made very shortly about what we'll call the new Pro Chess League, as well as the information on the qualifier and who's going to be trying to get in. As far as commentary goes, I think I'll be here. It will definitely not be Mr. Hess because he will be playing in the Isle of Man. Unless we wait till after the Isle of Man. We probably will. So maybe. I mean, you're not going to be here, but you could be my co-host.
Sounds good.
You're supposed to say BS. You can be mine.
No,
Top Gun.
I would never do that to you, though.
You would never say that.
Yeah, because you're not Iceman.
Because you're polite. You know, you're so nice to me, even though I'm not always nice to you. You're like your dad in Onions. You know, he loves onions.
Okay.
Onions don't always love him.
That was a story I told you in confidence. You can't talk about my.
Kidding. You are one of my besties, and you know that. I love how a lot of people wonder about our relationship sometimes.
Yeah, because you make a lot of jokes, and I just sit here in silence.
Like, does he really hate Danny?
Yeah.
Anyway, but we got interviews coming up. Then we've got the Title Tuesday. So all 8,500 of you that are still with us, don't go anywhere. Should be fun. Hikaru is
rolling.
He's rolling. He if you missed the opening real quick, it wasn't a full bong cloud, but pretty close to it.
It's ridiculous.
Grandmaster to beat 12 out of 28, the last one. Man, maybe he'll be my coach.
You need it. Says a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to be upset about that. Wait, how many exchanges is Black up right now? 2? Is that enough?
Is it enough? Is it enough to be up 2 exchanges? I didn't know. I couldn't tell if that was a trick question. And there actually is some weird compensation though here, right? Black King he's going to try to get the ladies off the board to make sure he doesn't get mated. Eddie the Eagle's got a future, but how fast can he run?
Not fast enough.
Yeah. Gonna try though. Actually, this is
just
it's not so simple, right? King comes to G3, Knight C7. Ooh, well, he's got Bishop.
Knight
D7,
F6
okay.
check is coming at some point.
Yeah, or just get the queen now and then fork him.
Yep. Bishop D7. Your idea looked pretty good. Wait, Rook B3 check was almost mate, but you could block with it on the E3 square.
Oh. Okay, so Hikaru parts with the rook.
Yeah, but that pawn's
oh,
at the queen.
this F6 square is key.
Yeah, but then you go king move and then Bishop G7 and just offer the exchange of bishops. I think you have to go Bishop. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
Bishop
there's threats of Bishop E6 and then Knight C5. That was a trick that Dobrov had, but Hikaru saw it. Wait, Bishop E6 check there, won the A2 pawn.
Oh wow!
Why didn't he do it?
That's a great question.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
I mean, it's going to be a draw now, but wasn't bishop e6 check?
Looked right.
What's he doing with his clock? He's smiling. Move, Grandmaster, move!
Oh, he just blundered his bishop. I mean,
What is he doing?
He's laughing.
Wasn't bishop e6 check picking up a2?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Okay.
Now, I can't tell if Dobrov is laughing as in...
With us or at us?
Yeah, or at himself, really.
Is he laughing with himself or at himself?
Yeah.
Right?
I just don't know.
He's playing it out to mate to try to get as much time off the clock. A good match strategy.
Oh, we have French. How is this the first French we've had? No.
No, we've had a couple, I think. We just haven't been in anti-French mode today, me and you.
Yeah.
We've been nice.
No, I've just been distracted. The first time sitting
Look
next.
at that username, Horace Slughorn. 9 out of 18.
Well, that's
That's
pretty
a
good.
Harry Potter reference.
Yeah, with a Scottish flag, I think.
Yeah. Horace Slughorn from Scotland.
Uh-oh, look at this G6 square and this E6 square. I've seen better situations in my life. He just doesn't even
I've
take
seen
it.
better days.
He doesn't even take it on E6. He just puts the other knight there. Oh, gosh.
Patience. Patience, young Padawan.
It's a virtue.
Hikaru outperformed his own smarter chess predictions today. Not his own prediction, but our smarter chess prediction. And although it's partly because they played more games than we thought. I mean, the actual total score difference, Dobrov scored more points than we said he would in the prediction, but they played a lot more games.
Yeah.
So.
You see this question? Can Dobrov win 19 games in a minute? I believe.
I believe. I believe. We all stand up. I believe. I'll stand up. And then you stand up. You say, I believe. And then everyone goes, I believe.
You know what? Just because you want me to do it?
You're not going to do it.
Exactly.
I know.
That is the very essence of our relationship.
I know. It really is. It's like an odd couple. I keep ruining the tape here. Aaron gets mad at me when I do that.
I'm sorry.
I'm messing with the tape under the desk. Don't you get any ideas? Oh, man. This show can't end fast enough. I'll tell you that much.
I'm just hungry. I've been thinking about this for a while.
Yep.
Oh, bishop b4, then rook b3, then a3 at the end. Here it comes.
How did they do it? They divorced when I was 6 weeks old. Blunder.
Whoa.
Blundering PhD. That's how they did it.
That got way too real.
How did they put up with me? He wanted to know.
I saw.
How are we going to deal with the interviews? You're going to find out in just a few moments. When we get back, Hikaru Nakamura, Vladimir Dobrov, join us. Don't go anywhere. Speed Chess Championship when we return. are now joined by the players here after today's Speed Chess Championship match. Hikaru Nakamura wins by a final score of 27-8, but the big question to start here for Vlad, do you remember what you did to me in Russia, 2002? Tell everybody.
Yeah. Hello. First of all, I want to say good games for Hikaru. Very nice match, very tough match. Nobody wants to be a mouse in such a devil head.
No one wants to be a mouse against the lion of Hikaru.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to lighten the mood and give you a chance to talk about a victory.
I remember these times. It was too long ago, and as I remember, you won this game.
No.
Was,
no. You won this game.
No. You won. I'm sure that you won. I have this game in my archive.
Oh, that's right. I was confusing you with Vorobriov. I did beat you. It was in this Queen C2 D4 game. Contrary to what Hikaru believes is true, I can win a chess game every once in a while.
Sure.
And I won that. That's right. Dude, I destroyed you in that game.
Vlad, what's really funny is Danny was telling me for the last 3 days that you beat him.
Yeah.
And so he didn't bring this up to make you feel bad. I
literally thought I was running my game with Vorobriov, and we played in the chess club in Moscow, and but I beat you. That's right. Hey, dude, thanks for being. I was trying to give you a victory, and turns out that backfired.
Yeah, you just made it worse. You added insult to injury.
Anyway, Hikaru, you look like you lost by a score of 27-8. How happy are you with your performance today?
I mean, I'm relatively happy with my performance. I thought both my opponent, Dobrov, played quite well in the 5+1, and I wasn't serious enough, I think. But then I saw this little hammer clip, and this actually made me kind of annoyed. So I decided no more fooling around. And then in the 3+1 and 1+1, I really I tried to bring my best game. I don't think I played great, but it was still good enough. So relatively happy.
Well, you played great, and honestly, Dobrov, Vlad, I think you got out the hammer because you wanted to smash your own computer, right? Was that the case?
It was only it was only one chance for me.
Right. Well, we were thinking you could have had a broken down computer next to you and kind of taken out your rage on a different computer. Maybe next time. But Hikaru, a lot of people in the chat, obviously we look at this matchup today. You played fantastic. You are the defending champion and the 1 seed. As we look at the bracket, a lot of people wonder, who do you see? There's a lot of exciting matches this week. We've got obviously Grishik and Artemiev are throwing down. So and Mamedyarov play tomorrow, and then you've got Aronian and Firouzja, right? I mean, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to play commentator and give us your thoughts on those matches. And who do you see as maybe the most dangerous potential challenger for you this year?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think I have a very tough match coming up in the next round, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm playing Jan-Krzysztof Duda, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of more focused on that than anything else. But, I think Wesley is the clear favorite over Shakhriyar, for sure. I expect him to win that match pretty cleanly, based on the fact that Shakhriyar is probably not as strong, but also he doesn't play that much online. So I think Wesley's a clear favorite. In terms of the other two matches, it's hard. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Ali Reza is going to beat Levon in that match. I think it's going to be very close, but I think based on the fact that Ali Reza is significantly better at 1+1, and I think he's very good at learning from the matches that he played in the Junior Speed Chess Championship, I think it'll pay dividends, and I think he's going to find a way to win that match. In terms of the other one, that's... it's Artemiev against Grishuk, I think. Very tough match to predict. I think that's close to 50-50. I want to pull for Vladislav, but I have a feeling that Sasha is going to be very well prepared, like he was in previous versions of Speed Chess Championship. I remember he played a match against Maxime where he was super well prepared. So I think he's going to be very serious about it, and I think he's going to eke it out. So I would pick Sasha to win that match.
Fantastic analysis. And you said yourself, but you and I did commentary together for the Junior Speed Chess Championship final, and we talked about Firouzja. Obviously, he lost to Wei Yi, right, in that event, but that experience really paying off. You feel like if he can keep it within range against Aronian, do you see him as a clear favorite in Bullet?
Yeah, I think he's got very good chances. And to make a reference, to use a reference point, actually, sort of pivoting back. One thing I was going to say is that I feel like my opponent from the next round is extremely talented, Jan-Krzysztof Dudov. But one thing he's been very bad at doing, I feel, is learning from his experiences from playing matches. Specifically, for example, he played this match against Wesley in Moscow, where he won the first game, then played a dragon for absolutely no reason whatsoever and lost that. He played the match against me in St. Louis and kept it very close. I did win in the end. But then in Hanti, he did the same thing against Jeffrey, where I think he won the first game 2 times and then he couldn't hold with black. And so I feel like he's not as good at but as learning from the situations with playing matches in the same way that I feel that Ali Reza is. So that's why, like with Ali Reza, I think he's got very good chances against Levant. I think he's very young and he internalizes a lot of these things better.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, great insights. Vlad, we know that Hikaru is about to start streaming. Everyone can go to twitch.tv/GM Hikaru. He'll be playing the title Tuesday. Are you going to stay up late and play the title Tuesday with Hikaru here in a little bit?
Probably. I'm not sure still, but probably yes. Why not?
Why not, right?
You have 20 minutes to decide.
We'll see. Yeah.
So, anyway, I want to apologize for bringing up the game in Russia, but anyway, you had obviously a great match getting here. You were facing off against the guy that nobody wants to play in this format, Hikaru Nakamura,
Yeah, sure.
right? Wesley So in the game chat said, "How did I get paired with Mamedyarov? Nobody wants to play Hikaru, right?" So you did great. There were some very exciting games, and anyway, thank you for the match.
Yeah, thank you very much, and best wishes to Hikaru. Best of all.
All right, Big Vlad, thank you. We'll chat on Slack. Hit me up.
See you.
See you, man. Bye, Hikaru. Good luck in Title Tuesday.
Bye. See you guys. Bye.
Well, there you have it. We see the bracket updated with Hikaru Nakamura's victory over Vlad Dobrov. Very one-sided affair, but you heard from Hikaru himself. He's nervous is not the right word, but he is very respectful of his upcoming opponent, Jan-Krzysztof Dudov, saying, he's very, very strong. He needs to learn from his mistakes. I think it's words of wisdom from somebody who's played many, many speed chess matches, and it will be very exciting to see that next round matchup between Nakamura and Dudov.
Yeah, I mean, the next round matchups across the board, Dingli Ren to Pomniachi, I mean, wow, right? And of course, this week is about to fill out the right side of the bracket. This is an exciting year, right? Obviously, everyone looks at Hikaru Nakamura as the favorite for many reasons, but there's so many heavyweights in the field this year. I think Hikaru knows that he's got to be on form. Hikaru was a beast today. Fantastic chess was played, and I think Dobrov also played well. I mean, honestly, I think it's just hard to play Hikaru in this format. Let's bring up the schedule one more time. Remind everybody, starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific yet again, we have Mamedyarov and So throwing down. Wesley was hanging out on Chess.com today, trying to warm himself up, getting away from the bug house, trying to play some real chess. We've got Aronian and Firouzja, and then Artemiev and Grishuk. You and I, dude, busy week together. Are you ready?
Lots of Speed Chess Championship, lots of fun. I'm definitely ready, and we had the first exciting matchup, just 3 more matchups to come in 2-day period. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait. On behalf of everybody here at Chess.com, we thank you. Those viewers that have been here all day, you're extra special. Even if you just got here like 30 seconds ago, thanks for being here as well. But seriously, everyone who tuned in and has been here supporting the show, we appreciate it. With you, these things are possible. Stick around. Watch International Master Levy Rosman, his commentary on Title Tuesday. And we will see you bright and early tomorrow again at 9 a.m. Pacific for the next Speed Chess Championship match. Peace out, everybody.